All right, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? Hour one. We've got a action-packed Schaefer and Sliwa on this. What day is it? Thursday afternoon.
Today is Sunday, actually. Sunday afternoon right now.
So, all right.
Sunday at noon.
I think your microphone is on.
Son of a.
All right. So we're giving away real quick because, of course, we've got you covered. If you're a Padres fan, we have you completely covered. Everything you need, we've got covered for you over the next 3 hours.
To talk about.
I will say this in just a moment. Are we doing this right now, Brent? Okay. We're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego Seals because their Fan Appreciation Night is coming up tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is their Fan Appreciation Night. Their final regular season game of the year is tomorrow night. Let's see. This is a 7:30 start. First 2,000 fans get an exclusive Seals poster. All right. You have the chance to get autographs from the whole Seals team and the Sirens, their cheer team post game. And we've got Zach Currier of the San Diego Seals with us right now. He's getting set for practice. They're playing tomorrow night. Zach, appreciate you taking time for us. How much are you looking forward to tomorrow night, the final time at Pechanga in the regular season?
Can't wait. There's a lot to look forward to. We should have a packed house in there, and it should be a really big game, exciting stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Zach, just playing off of that, for those who have not come out to a San Diego Seals game, give us kind of an idea, a picture. You probably got a lot of people tuned in right now that either they got family or they're just looking for something to do tomorrow. Give us a little pitch on why tomorrow is the place to be out there at Pechanga Arena.
Well, it's a great live sporting event, and they pump music the whole game, so it's a lot of fun. If you haven't ever seen lacrosse before, it's a very fast-paced environment, and a lot of skilled players out there, and really fast-paced. So it's you can never be bored, and I think they probably have some sort of alcohol beer deal on. So for the adults,
I'm driving over there right now. I'm coming right now.
So I highly recommend coming out, and we need the support. We got a big weekend up here, and we got to take it to Vegas.
We've got a 4-pack of tickets to give away. We'll do it after our conversation here momentarily with Zach Currier of the Seals. How do you, for our listeners, again, that aren't completely familiar, I called your games for a couple of years, actually, when the team launched, but there's big differences even between like the outdoor game and what's called the box game or the indoor game. Like, how do you describe the differences? It's so different, right? I mean, the difference between the outdoor game and the box or indoor game, it's almost like two completely different sports, right?
Yeah, for sure. And my elevator speech would be that box lacrosse is where you put carpet down on the ice in the hockey arena, and you take away the long poles. You play 5-on-5, shrink the net down, and put a ton more gear on the goalies. So it looks a lot different, but for the most part, same premise. You have a lot of offensive players running around trying to get the ball in the net, and the goalie's trying to stop it. And also you got defensemen there doing the same thing. So similar, but call them cousins, I guess.
I like it.
All right, so the game coming up tomorrow, it's at 7:30. You guys are taking on the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. Can you talk a little bit about the game, just what to expect tomorrow, how important of a game it is? Would love your analysis there.
Yeah, Vegas is a really strong team. They have a very high-powered offense, and their defense is aggressive, and they can carry the ball and be a threat in transition. So there's a lot of things that we got to look out for and make sure we do our homework on them. And we're tied right now with them in the standings. We play 7:30 here tomorrow night, and then we play 7 o'clock on Saturday night in Vegas. If we win both those games, we're in the playoffs. If we lose both those games, we're not. So the stakes are high, and we feel confident coming in, but obviously very, very tough opponent we're matched up against, and everyone in this league is so skilled. So you got to bring your A game every night, or else you're going to come out on the wrong side of things.
I was going to ask you, Zach, but before you run, we're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets. We'll let you get to practice. But what is it like playing in a league like this? Because this is somewhat unique from a professional league, right? Because, like, for example, like in the NBA, these players are with each other the entirety of a season. But in box lacrosse, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's some comings and goings, right? Like the team kind of gets together in preparation for a game. But during the week, some of the players aren't always in San Diego, right? They might be in Canada or where they reside. What's that like? What are the challenges of that?
It puts a lot of pressure on the individuals to make sure that you're putting in the work and on your own. And then you also got to stay connected And throughout the week, make sure that your game plan is buttoned up and you only get on the floor for a practice and a shoot around before the game. So you don't really have much time to prepare. So it's a lot of homework during the week and watching film and doing all that stuff and making sure everyone's on the same page going into it. Because once we do get together, time is short. Like you said, like I'm just about to get to the arena now. Haven't even got there. Practice is at 4:00. I'll see the guys. We'll practice. We'll have film and meal tonight, go to bed, and then get ready for game day tomorrow.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Again, for our listeners, we're about to give away a 4-pack of tickets. If you're interested in Fan Appreciation Night, you can grab tickets or find more information at sealslax.com. That's Seals, LAX. Trust us, it's a phenomenal experience. If you've never been, you need to get out there, and tomorrow night is a perfect opportunity for that. Zach, appreciate you taking time. Best of luck tomorrow night and next week against Las Vegas as well, and thanks for doing it.
Good luck, buddy. Get in that postseason.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll do our best. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Zach Courier with the Seals. Call right now. It's a family 4-pack, Alan. Let's make it caller 4. Call right now if you want free tickets, 4 free tickets to the Seals. 877-767-4760. Call right now. Caller 4, you're going. Great Friday night family entertainment. 877-767-4760. See the Seals and Las Vegas tomorrow night at 7:30 at Pechanga Arena. All right. Again, locally in sports, it starts with what played out, obviously, last night. The Padres stretched their win streak to seven consecutive games. And they did it, Alan, as we touched on in the crossover with Sammy Long. They just did it in special fashion. And this great start to the season continues all of a sudden at 12-6 overall.
I'm kind of walking into that game. And I'm going to be honest, listen, if Padres are getting their ass kicked, they're down 6-0, I'm probably not going to be tuning in anymore. They're down 6-0. I decided, let's call it a day. We kind of have an idea. By the way, not upset at them at all, what they've been able to accomplish. Upset a little bit, maybe Randy Vasquez, which with the Pivetta injury, it's like every start that Vasquez has now becomes even more important. It's not all on his back, but for all these starters, every time, if you don't have Nick Pivetta, if you don't have Joe Musgrove, you don't have some guys that you thought you could potentially depend on as far as starters go, every single game becomes that much more important. Xander hits a 2-run homer, basically just telling me, Al, please just buy my jersey, 6-2. I'm still tuned out, and I look in the 9th inning, I just keep going back and checking the scores. 2 on, nobody out. Down 6-2. The chances of you coming back in that game still very slim. I'm like, all right, let's take a look.
Yep.
And it was just this. I'll tell you what I loved about it more than anything else. Everybody had a piece in that game yesterday. Like, how many different players had some type of a piece in that W for the Padres yesterday? Whether it was Xander's 2-run homer that won't be talked about, but obviously got them 2. Whether it was Luis Campusano coming in clutch. Whether it was Laureano coming in clutch. Whether it was Tatis with the sacrifice. Like, yeah, and this is before I mentioned Jackson Merrill. What was nice about yesterday's W for the Padres is not only was it you're down 6-0, you come all the way back. You had so many different guys that had a piece in that W, which I think is important for any team type of win.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was a moment in the game where Merrill made this incredible catch, right, to keep it a 2-0 deficit as opposed to 4-0. He robs J-Rod of a home run. At that moment, I tweeted, circle this play if the Padres come back and win. But once it was 6-0, at that point, I'm not expecting it to play out because in the course of baseball history, a team trailing by 6 or more runs wins less than 1% of the time. I'm going to say that. I mean, I'm making that up.
Oh, Jesus.
But it sounds good, right?
God, you said that so confidently. Like I thought you almost were reading it somewhere.
I'll find that out. I might ask AI to do some type of deeper dive on that.
That percentage has to be, it's probably 5% at the top.
No way is it that high.
Down 6-0, 5%. That's not
20 overcoming 6-run.
No. Yeah, that's not going to be that high.
You know, in the NBA, every team comes back from 19 down.
Yeah, it's probably 1 in every
50.
70, something like that.
Go. So that's 1.5%, right? So, you know, you're down 6-0. But we've mentioned this game a couple times now. There's a 2024 game early in April. They trailed the Cubs 8-0. Tatis hit 2 home runs in that game.
I remember that game.
Came all the way back. Yep. They shocked the Cubs, and they took off from that point forward. It was really a magical year, all the way to the postseason when it wasn't against the Dodgers. But to that point, it really was till game 4 of that series. I'm just telling you, in my mind, last night goes a long way. I get it. It's a long year. There could be twists and turns. I'm not going going to win every series from here on out, or need to overcome the Pavetta thing. I'm just telling you that you win in that manner, and all of a sudden the team believes even more. And that's dangerous when the group begins to think that they can do things like that. So I just think it's a huge, it's like we spent so much time on Pavetta yesterday.
Yeah.
And we will moving forward. It's real.
It's important.
It's important.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like from a team perspective in the clubhouse, not to say they're beyond it, but it feels like a long time ago, the Sunday Pavetta news, considering the way they've played here this week.
I would just say this. They went 2-4 in their first homestand. And walking out of those first 6 games from Petco Park, I was kind of walking out, what the hell? What is this team? They're not exciting. They're not fun to watch. Remember you were saying this, you were saying it early on. There was a play where Fernando Tatis late in the game, a critical moment in the game.
Oh, yeah, he just didn't challenge.
Where he doesn't challenge. And by the way, there were a lot of people nationally who were like, Tatis, what are you doing? Like, you challenge right there. And I think what you had said at that point was, are these guys ready?
Right.
Like, they don't feel like they're ready to go. That was the first homestand. In this homestand alone, you have a walk-off grand slam by Xander Bogaerts, followed by a 3-run walk-off homer from Sheets.
That's right.
Followed by, not consecutively, obviously got to win in between there. In this homestand, and then you have a walk-off Jackson Merrill double down the line to bring in 2 guys in when you're down a run to win it. It's
with 2 outs, with 2 strikes.
I don't know your comp to 2024. I don't know if that, obviously equates.
Yep.
But what I will tell you is, if you went to that first homestand compared to the second homestand, I'm running somebody in the office. He's like, yeah, my dad was there for 2 of these last couple of games. I'm like, yeah, tell your dad to get his ass to tonight's game as well. Fun baseball right now, and good baseball.
It really is. And it's like, that's a good point. The first homestand, you got these large crowds and everyone's kind of waiting for these moments.
It was awful.
And now you've got these large crowds and you're getting some just unbelievable baseball, great results. And it is, I mean, again, to your point, I can't say it's 2024 because I haven't seen 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Could be way better. Could be way worse. Could be identical.
Mm-hmm.
I have no way of knowing because they're 12-6. I might look up in a month and they're 24-10 or 20-20.
Sure.
So I don't know yet, but I just have a feel.
I get the point.
Are slow to churn.
Yeah.
2025 slow to churn after 14-3. Now that team was 14-3. I was probably saying they're going to play for a World Series, and I was wrong on that.
I'm not the best at, and we're going to do this. This happens all the time. We always want to compare, what a player did a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
Or what a team did a couple years ago. I think the roster that they've put out in 2026 needs to be its own identity and needs to build something based off of what their strengths and weaknesses are. Like they need a clean slate. It's almost not fair to them to say, hey, maybe they're like 20, or, we talked about the 2023 team a lot. You can look at the last 6-7 years. It's easy to make comps and comparisons, especially because you got a lot of the same players that are still on the roster, at least some of the key players. But I think so far they are mapping their own way. Clearly there's going to be new ownership coming here pretty soon. And how does that change the dynamic? But what a fun start. If you're a San Diegan and you're a big you're a big Padre fan, you couldn't have asked for a better start of the year.
You'll hear what it sounded like last night, although you already have, and you'll hear it on the other side. Plus, we touched on this during the crossover, but the Padres literally completed like the best week in modern baseball history, and we'll tell you why.
Just need them to do that a couple more times this year.
Exactly.
That's all.
Plus the latest on the timeline on an ownership change involving the San Diego Padres. Ton to get to and react to. Stay with us. Schaefer and Slew on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, this is fascinating. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. A lot to get to, obviously, today. Jesse Rogers, who works with Jeff Passan at ESPN, will join us at 5 p.m. His thoughts on the Padres' fast start and the 7-game winning streak. But like Brent went to AI, correct, Brent? To an AI service to see, hey, what was the question? What was your prompt? Essentially, were you asking how often does a team overcome a 6-run deficit?
I asked what the percentage of Major League Baseball teams that win after trailing by 6 or more runs.
And they said
that historically a team trailing by 6 runs at any point in the game has a win probability of roughly 1.4 to 2.4%. But they also broke it down by when the deficit occurred. If it occurred between the 4th and 6th inning, they said even just trailing by 4 runs, your chances of winning are less, or only about 7.3%. A 6-run deficit in these innings typically drops your win probability well below 1%.
And that was them. Because they walked into this. They walked into the 6th
trailing by 6
until Xander hit the 2-run homer.
And ChatGPT, to tie the bow on it, says trailing by 6 or more at any point says 1% or lower in in baseball historical data. It says trailing by 6 in the 7th inning or later, well under 1%, and trailing by 6 in the 9th, effectively 0%. It says historically. There's examples, but very few. It was just a special night is the point.
Well, and they had, I think where all of this really started, and I think we'll all kind of remember certain points of the season. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember vividly because it was just a couple weeks ago. They're down 4-0 to the Red Sox in Boston.
Sure.
And there was this like growing frustration. I want to say that's Walker Buehler on the mound as well. And there's this frustration. I'm like, and I think they're coming off of a win. So this is the decider.
3-5.
Something like that. Yeah.
Because they were 2-5,
That's
won a
exactly
game. They're
right.
now 3-5.
But they're down 4-0. And you almost just had this. Yeah, they're not coming back from that. Their bat's been struggling, this and that. They win that game.
Yep.
Remember, they go 6-4. They tied 6-6. They ended up winning maybe 8-7, something along those lines. All right. Well, that gave you. I remember you and I, because I was on a Sunday. We come back on a Monday. I'm like, I like the way they fought in that game.
Definitely.
They didn't give up in that game. Well, tell me what you've seen over the course of these last couple of weeks. There's different ways to win. You might blow out a team 9-4, and there's no conversation to be had, and maybe we just don't pay attention to the game. But they've also been in some, you got to grind out a W, or you're trying to hold off the Rockies in an extra innings game where things aren't going your way and it just feels like you're going to lose a game, or the Red Sox game or last night's game against the Mariners. There's a little bit of grind to some of these wins, which I think are important.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Here's the thing. If they would have lost last night with the grind and our offense is still showing signs of life. Bogey homered and they scored a couple runs.
You lose 6-5?
And they lose 6-5. Let's say Merrill doesn't come through. Let's say that hit the chalks.
What I thought was going to happen.
Was an inch foul. And then let's say it's a foul tip strikeout.
Sure.
And the game ends and everyone in the stadium that's left, there's a collective sigh or a moan. My take would have been very similar in terms of, I like the way this team is playing.
Sure.
You can't win every game in baseball.
Good point.
Most professional sports outside of football,
It's a
there's
really good
examples
point.
in football, you win at a ridiculous clip. I would have said, I like the way they're trending. I am trusting this process. I am on board. But now knowing how it played out, I'm even more bought in. And I don't think it's fool's gold. I've spent a lot of time covering this team, covering this sport. I'm not telling you they're winning the World Series. That's the last point I'm making.
What's standing out to you?
It's the combination of how they're collectively picking themselves up. And here's an example from last night. Their middle relievers, they're not using high leverage pieces. They're losing smartly. They're not using Mason Miller last night. Alec Jacob comes in, keeps it 6-2, pitches multiple innings. That's the mark of a really good team. Seattle, by the way, uses their entire bullpen. Andres Munoz is out there. Blows this. I mean, he's in an unsafe spot. It wasn't even a safe spot. You see, so Seattle's treating this the game like we need to win this game. Come on, we're going to win this game. And San Diego's like, let's just not going through the motions, but they're using the middle of their bullpen, which proves the strength of their bullpen. They don't even have to use their high leverage guys. That's what I like most. That again, I like the fact that their bullpen is really deep. I like that their offense has been really good without Tatis and Machado hitting. And I think by and large, I'm okay with the performance of the rotation in general, even with Randy Vasquez not being his best last night.
I think it's a good observation because if you say let's say they lost yesterday 6-5, because there were some moments. Look, when it's 6-3 and Tatis comes up with the bases
Yeah, he
loaded down
flies
6-2, he
out.
flies out, you score 6-3.
Yep.
You're like, all right, this is they're fighting. They're doing what they can, and yes, you'd like to see Tatis hit a grand slam or a base hit or something along those lines. Okay, it didn't happen. Camposano was, I don't know if he was an 0-2 pitch or 1-2.
It was an 0-2 pitch.
But a slider that just kind of settled right in front of the plate, and he did what he needed to do. Laureano with 2 outs. Again, just brings in one more run. If they lose that game 6-5, it's so easy to say, that's so disappointing that they lost that game. And I probably would have been, I know that would have been my feeling, but I had this expectation the entire time, like I'm watching, I'm like, nah, you can't. Like, you can't come back from 6-0. Okay, come on, it's 6-3. Okay,
Yeah.
Nobody's hitting a 3-run homer right here. Okay, it's 6-5, and it's at that point you're like, this is going to really suck that they got this close. Jackson Merrill fouling off pitches. Mark Grant said something that was, I think it was right before that pitch that he takes down the line. He said, I like his approach. He's going the other way.
Yep.
And then eventually goes the other way, hits the line. And you just kind of watch it all unfold. You're not always rewarded for working hard and not giving up. Sometimes you still take an L. They were rewarded yesterday, and that doesn't happen all the time, but I think it's a fair observation of even if they took the L and they lost 6-4, 6-5, you should have liked that fight, and that's what they did yesterday.
Stars aligned for me. Freddie Fermin leaves due to concussion symptoms.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't happen every game, and it's Luis Campusano. All 3 of the walk-offs, we should touch on that on the other side. All 3 of the walk-offs only presented that opportunity because of something Luis Campusano did earlier in that inning. All right, just underway, talking about the Padres' 7-game winning streak. By the way, they play tonight at 5:40. We'll talk some SDFC as well with one of their players, a midfielder, Bryce Duke, coming up later this hour. Tons to react to until 6 p.m. here on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The Padres and Mariners are getting set for game 3 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. The Padres are going for the 3-game sweep. It's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Walker Buehler going for the Padres. First pitch is at 5:40. I've been saying 6:40. My bad. It's at 5:40 tonight. And we have our final 4 in the NBA play-in, which will take place tomorrow night. We have Hornets at Magic at 4 o'clock and Warriors Suns starting at 7:30. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, much more here on the Padres and their looming ownership timeline transition. We've got some reporting from Dennis Lynn at The Athletic. But Brent, can we play what it sounded like last night on Padres.tv with Don Orsillo on this improbable call in this just unbelievable 9th inning? Jackson Merrill's at the plate. They trail 6-5. This is what it sounded like.
Line to left, it is a fair ball! Down the left field line to the corner! Around from second base, Campusano. Laureano's coming around. Padres are walking off! Merrill madness! Padres were down at one time 6 runs. Not anymore!
The guys at Brown and Gold came up to the plate tonight and they battled. What a way to finish in downtown San Diego.
That actually, Alan, is one of my favorite Don calls because it's so natural and unexpected, and you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that played out so improbably. What you're talking about today, what I'm talking about today, he was feeling last night.
Here's what happened. I think everybody just thought, first, there's the question of, is that fair or foul?
As I thought that, right?
So you get the fair call,
Like,
and
oh.
now you're thinking in your head,
Zach can
you
score.
tied the game,
Yep.
6-6. Then as the ball was kind of going to the corner, and it's now
You know
hitting
you're gonna
one
win it.
wall,
Yeah.
hitting another. And I think as he's taken in the call, and this is
Yep.
what makes great broadcasters, great play-by-play, whatever the case is, he's starting to understand, wait a minute here. We might actually win the game on this call. So I think that, you know, if you get that 3-run homer and it's just right off the bat,
Right,
you
you
know
just
it's
know,
a 3-run homer.
Exactly.
There's maybe less drama to it. That was as dramatic as you can get because you're not sure if that left fielder is coming around, if there's going to be a play at the plate, and there ended up not being one.
And with you, it was like there were 2 surprises. It was the ball was fair,
Yeah.
and then the ball kind of gets away down the line, leading to not just a tie, but a win there in walk-off fashion. All right, Dennis Lynn at The Athletic reporting earlier today, the Padres sale process is nearing a conclusion. An agreement between the Seidler family and a preferred bidder could be done by early next week, according to a source that tells The Athletic. Early next week. So what's today, Thursday? So this thing's wrapped up when we're on the air between now and a week from now?
Yeah, let's put it this way. By May 1st, there's a new owner in San Diego. And then probably a couple weeks after that, it will be officially approved. I think 75% of the owners need to approve.
Right. They'll need the formal approval, but that's a whole nother thing. Yeah.
They'll get the formal approval. Nobody's worried about that.
No.
Look, it's a very big moment in San Diego.
Right.
It really is. And I've really kind of struggled internally of how to take this all in.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell do I know who comes in as the owner and whether that person is the greatest owner in San Diego sports history and all he cares about is winning a World Series, or if that owner just is, guys, this is just a business, part of my portfolio. I gotta look at the dollars and cents. I don't know. And I've tried kind of playing it in my head. Who do you want us to be owner? I don't know. Is it Lacob? I don't know who's the best person for the job. I just know that it's such a critical, my hope is that John Seidler and anyone involved in this sale understands that they're going to make generational wealth for generation after generation. Just make sure that you got San Diego in the back of your mind, that we got to make sure that we're also taking care of San Diego in this process.
After last night, I hope it's Lacob, since, the Warriors had that come from behind win. So clearly he had a lot to do with that. No, I joke. Honestly, I'm being dead serious when I say this. I don't have a preference because how could I know what the future holds with these groups?
I know.
Like, what do I know about Joe Lacob with the Warriors? It has gone relatively well.
Listen, I think that's a strong suit. I would give that. I look at that as a positive.
I do too, but there are those that are Warriors fans that would tell you a lot of this Warriors success has coincided with some of these great players. I would give him credit for some of that, but there's others, a lot of others that are very responsible.
But it's absurd to think your owner
had no role.
It's beyond absurd to think, like, if you're a Golden State freaking Warrior fan and you think this is all because of Steph Curry, how about the drafting of Draymond Green? How about my point is my point is that the trade for Andre Iguodala, there's a lot that has to go through in a championship. I think it starts at the top and it works its way down. Not to say you can't have generational talent that comes in, but I don't buy that he has nothing. He shouldn't get credit for it.
I would agree with that completely. And then you've got these two Premier League owners.
Yes.
I just don't know. I mean, one, you always splice his name, Dan Freakin, who was born in San Diego, and then you say the rest of, okay, great. There's a lot of people that were born in San Diego. That alone doesn't qualify them to help steward the franchise to a World Series, but maybe it helps. Jose Feliciano, I just don't know anything about, this other Premier League owner. Who's the fourth group?
I think Gores, if he's still in it.
Yeah, Mr. Pistons Chargers.
So can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
You said something that was about the San Diego, that the guy
who's born here,
born in San Diego. Listen, you can tell me that doesn't matter, but I think it does matter.
Mm-hmm.
I could be completely wrong.
Right.
You can tell me that, Al, but the last ownership group were actually Dodger fans.
Correct.
Within the Dodger family. And here's Peter Seidler coming here. That's like, well, I'm trying to win for San Diego.
Correct.
I know maybe it's a little absurd for me to say it, but I actually don't think it's absurd. The fact that he was born in San Diego, I think, means something. Now, I don't know if that means he should be the owner of the Padres. He's had some success in the English Premier League, which I think that is that's probably more important than him being born in San Diego. Put that to the side. The Gores one, I can't sit here and tell you. I can't really give you a good enough reason, but I don't like the tie with the Chargers. I don't like the tie to the Chargers.
Think about winning a press conference or a press release. Remember, public relations is based on a lot of this stuff. You're setting narratives day one. It's hard to escape them sometimes. So yeah, it looks good on paper, and you're winning press conference when you bring in, I was born here, I grew up a Padres fan. All sounds amazing. It sounds great. You're not winning anyone over. If anything, you're winning people over.
I think you are winning people over.
And then the other side of it with Tom Gores, it's hard to escape. In the news clippings, he owns 27% of the LA Chargers.
I don't like it.
Well, he didn't move the franchise, to be clear. He didn't even buy the shares until 2024. But I don't think it's good.
You're doing business with Dean. I don't want you doing business in San Diego.
So from a PR perspective, I'm with you. I think Dan Freakin being born in San Diego, I think is marvelous PR. I think Tom Gores owning the Chargers, I think is terrible PR. And the other two, I don't know what the PR is. I can spin Lacob because he's won 4 titles with Golden State. It's not even spinning. I can tell you he's won 4 titles.
The only thing with the Lacob is the piece about Kevin Acee told us this, and I fully believe him. The Padres aren't going anywhere, but there was a article tied to Joe Lacob in Oakland. That's the only thing that, obviously, just to even, this city is so sensitive to that stuff. You can't even have one article based off of that. So, like you said, we're going to have a new ownership group, and then we'll start breaking down what it looks like. And we're not going to know probably for 3 to 5 years whether this is the right owner or not.
Yeah. And then there's Jose Feliciano. I don't even know what the reaction would be. What does anyone know about this man who owns a Premier League team? Again, to your point, all of them, you probably should reserve judgment.
Sure.
It's hard to go all in one way, this is the perfect group, trust me, or this is not the right group, trust me, until you see the actionable items, how they spend, how they steward the franchise, how committed they are to winning. And that plays out typically not in weeks or months, but probably over the course of years. Let's switch gears, because on the other side, we'll get you ready for SDFC this weekend with Bryce Duke, a midfielder for the club. Will join us on the other side. Also at 5 p.m., Jesse Rogers from ESPN, the latest on the Padres' hot start with Jesse Rogers. We can ask him about the ownership situation as well here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. All right, we'll get back to the Padres, obviously, in the 4 o'clock hour. They're going for a homestand sweep. Those are rarities. You play 7 games at home. Like, this isn't a 3-game homestand.
Listen, that's the expectation now, okay?
You win every game
this
you
whole
play at home.
6-1 stuff.
Yeah, right.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. Padres going for a sweep of the homestand, an 8-game winning streak. We'll get back to them. But again, SDFC is back in action Saturday on the road at Salt Lake at 6:30 Pacific. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760, your home for SDFC. We're with Bryce Duke, midfielder for the club right now. Bryce, we appreciate you taking time for us. How important you see this weekend? You guys have had a couple of losses here, a couple of draws as well. How important is it to get back to the winning ways?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important for the guys, for the club, for the fans. Obviously, the way things have been going the past couple of games, it's not been ideal for anybody, but that's football. Things happen that are unplanned, and it's just a matter of how you kind of take those and just bounce back and get back to our winning ways like we know we can, and just want to share those experiences back with the fans because they're sticking with us and they're showing us all the support. So, yeah, it's a big weekend to kind of set that tone.
We're panicking a little bit, Bryce. I know it's early. We're panicking a little bit. Hey, I'll ask you this, and you can give good context to this. It is very, very, very early in the season. So tell us, like, of course you want to be the best version of yourself as you get closer to the postseason, but just put in context this early in the season, how much there's it's not going to be perfect. The team that you are today will look a lot different down the road. Just play that into context in regards to a full MLS season.
Yeah, I mean, the season's long, like you just said. I mean, we go all the way potentially until early December. So that goes for any sports teams in regards to the team won't look the same, or as a whole in regards to when it starts to when it finishes. There could be new guys that come in, guys that leave, the new faces, whatever the case may be, different lineups, all this stuff. So it's just a matter of whoever is on that field wearing the badge and playing the game. It's just a matter of kind of fighting for the crest and putting all you can out on the field and try and get a result. And I mean, that's what makes a good team, is that you guys potentially have 26, 28 guys on the roster, and each one is contributing no matter how big, how small. So, but yeah, I mean, it's the beginning of the season. Every team goes through, I don't want to call it a slump, but it goes through momentum where it might not be going your way. So it's just a matter, like I just said, matter of getting out of that and turning it around. And that's what makes a good team good. So, and I know we can be it because we did that last year. The team did that last year, and everybody, the city saw how amazing an atmosphere was and how good the team can be. So there's no reason why we can't do that again this season.
SDFC midfielder Bryce Duke with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. You can hear the upcoming match at Salt Lake Saturday at 6:30 with pregame coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Bryce, take us through your free agency and ending up with a club like San Diego after your time throughout the league and a couple of years in Montreal. How good of a fit was this for you, over the course of the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, super grateful. I'm from Arizona, so it's a little bit closer to home rather than Montreal.
Right.
But yeah, Montreal was, I had a great time in Montreal. I gained a lot of experience, a lot of playing time, which is something that I definitely needed. And then coming here, just the style of play and seeing how well the team did last year. When I got the opportunity, super stoked about it. And just, yeah, I mean, it still feels kind of new to me being here for a couple of months. Still getting to know all the guys on a personal level and also on a tactic and team level. So it's been nothing but great since I've been here. The guys have made me feel really welcomed. And yeah, the free agency process was difficult. And then talking to people who have been in free agency before, they said that this year was a weird one in regards to how slow, I guess, the process was for a lot of guys to find teams. And there's a lot of guys to this day that still haven't found a team that are known around the league of being one of those experienced veteran players. So that just goes into the gratitude of me being able to get an opportunity to play for San Diego at an earlier time rather than potentially not having a club. So yeah, just a lot of gratitude, and I'm excited for the opportunity and try and just do my best and bring something to the team.
The Bryce Duke Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about your foundation? I mean, phenomenal, obviously, of you of having the success that you're having in the MLS, obviously with SDFC as well, and then also having a foundation that obviously is important to you. Tell some of the listeners out there what you're doing with the foundation.
Yeah, so it's something that me and my family kind of wanted to do. We've grown up, me and my brother, parents have kind of raised us as to give back. So back in the day, we used to go to underprivileged areas and basically do the whole Christmas Angel thing for preschool, kindergarten students, show up with toys or help people provide for their next meal. And so we kind of sat down as a family and was like, hey, how can we do that now? And I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where I have an audience that I want to use for a good thing. And so that's why we decided to start the foundation. And it's more of just giving kids opportunities, whether that's having an opportunity to play soccer, whether that's having an opportunity to do whatever they want that they don't quite have the necessary abilities to do, whether that's because they're not in a nice area or they just don't have access to whatever it is. So we did our first soccer camp in California, Los Angeles, this past June, and we invited 30 kids, and I provided backpacks. We partnered up with Adidas, a food company called Kushi Gourmet. We partnered up with First Strike Soccer Academy. They helped us out with coaching, and just basically did a full day camp where everything was free. We did a Q&A panel where the players could ask questions, parents could ask questions, got them a custom Bryce Duke Foundation jersey that they got to keep. And yeah, it was just a super surreal moment to kind of start something and have this idea and see it come to fruition and really just give access to the kids and see all the smiles on their face and be able to kind of just do better in the world. And so, yeah, it's still haven't done everything that I want to do. And hopefully being in San Diego, California market can hit that and bring awareness to it. So yeah, just something that we decided to do that just kind of makes us all feel better and makes a better in the community.
Yeah, we appreciate you sharing that insight with our listeners. And if you're looking for more information, you can go to BryceDukeFoundation.com. That's BryceDukeFoundation.com. Bryce, we appreciate you taking time for us. We're looking forward to Saturday night. Again, you can hear the match right here on 760, pregame at 6, with the match getting underway just after 6:30 from Salt Lake for SDFC. But best of luck this season, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bryce. I predict 3-1. I'm just telling you, I feel good for Saturday. I feel good about it. 3-1. 3-1 works.
That's a good prediction.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Bryce.
All right, Bryce Duke again with SDFC. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll check Monday, the next show. If they win 3-1, you get all the credit in the world. If they don't, it's on you.
If they win 3-1, I want
what do you want?
I just want next home game. I just want SDFC to be like
celebrate.
Hey, where do you want to
throw out the first soccer ball?
What should we do at halftime for them? That's all. I'm not asking for.
You can be the opening kick.
Do they do this promotion? You ever seen the promotion where they're basically kicking from, like, you'll have listeners come in. It's almost like a half-court shot in basketball, right?
Yeah.
They'll kick from one goalpost and maybe a little bit, closer. to get to like a round circle at midfield, whoever's the
Right.
closest. Oh, I love those.
I don't know if they do or not, but I like that idea.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah. I like the half court shot.
Half court
Everyone
shots the
loves
best.
the
Half court shots the best.
I also like in like basketball when they'll bring out like a putter and have you putt the golf
Phenomenal.
ball across the floor. And again, the hole on the other
It's
side
usually
is
like
like the size of 2 golf balls.
A local car dealership.
Yeah,
You hit
like,
it,
and
you get a
hit it
truck.
through- yeah. And it looks like it's doable until you actually realize that that's not easy.
You've seen people do
I've
it,
seen
right?
people do it. Just
Phenomenal.
like the half court shot. It's great. All right, good
Maybe
stuff.
throw hot dogs from the
From the seal, from the top of the arena. Like
top
they
of the
do it
arena,
in
like the
Tuatone.
Clippers game.
Listen, Clippers lost yesterday, but I will say this. I saw hot dogs flying from the ceiling. So not all hope was lost. Has Kawhi played his final game with the Clippers? We'll discuss that in the 4:00 hour. Plus, can the Padres keep up what they've been doing here at home, including here tonight, and extend that winning streak to 8 games? We'll get to the wrap on the other side. Plus, Shannon McMillan, Soccer Hall of Famer, won a World Cup in '99 for the U.S. team. She'll join us coming up at 4:30. And Jesse Rogers with ESPN will join us at 5 p.m. to talk about the Padres. Hour 2 of Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Padres and Mariners are getting set for game 3 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. The Padres are going for the 3-game sweep. It's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 5:40. In NBA news, we have the Final Four now for the NBA play-in. Tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock, the Hornets are going to take on the Magic and the Warriors take on the Suns at 7:30. They will all be battling for the 8th seed in their respective conferences. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at crohnscolitisfoundation.org.
All right, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? This is hour 2 of Schaefer
what an hour.
and Sliwa. We've got a big hour ahead. 1 hour from now, Jesse Rogers, ESPN baseball reporter, will join us to talk more about the Padres' hot start. In 30 minutes, Shannon McMillan, the Hall of Fame soccer player, World Cup champion, Olympic champion. She'll talk to us about some matches that were announced earlier today coming to Snapdragon Stadium before this summer's World Cup in North America. So looking forward to connecting with Shannon McMillan coming up at 4:30. And there's still like, you know, that feeling off those, like just a big improbable win, no matter what your team is. It could be your favorite football team or basketball team or baseball team. You're kind of like, you're on that high for a period of time.
Sure.
You know that feeling in general?
Oh, yeah.
It's like when the Aztecs have a big win. I like the next day, I got a pep in my step. Right, my back doesn't hurt as much.
Yep.
I'm still thinking about it. I'm still consuming the content.
You forgot about your taxes.
You forgot about all that stuff that
check engine light on in the car. Who
put
cares?
it off for another day. By the way, getting through taxes was nice. That hung over my head for 4 months this year.
You know what I did for the first time this year?
Didn't do them. I love that. I love what you were telling me.
I did cash under the table. Everything was under the table.
That's right. I saw you did that.
Yep.
And you've been telling me this has been your trend for the last 10 or 20 years.
At least 15 years, everything's been under the table.
What did you honestly do?
There is so much cash under my mattress.
I'm always amazed at people that maybe
hide the money,
like hoard cash, because we're all over the place right now.
It's okay.
Here's why I say it. Cash is value, right?
Yeah.
You like that? You like that breakdown? So I'm all for it. Yeah, having a little bit of money in your home in case of a situation. Yeah, there's value. Absolutely.
Sure. Do you mean like literal cash? Like, hey, let's have like $1,000 sitting there.
Correct. If we polled every American household, no joke, I bet there's a percentage. I don't know what it is, but even a couple percent have a lot of money, like their savings at home. Correct? Would you agree? If maybe 1 or 2 or 3% of people have their savings at home, they don't trust banking, they're worried.
That sounds.
Let's Google it, Brent.
I don't think so.
Really?
Not in this kind of market. Like if you told me you're in like
had a lot of cash under the mattress.
Your grandmother.
Yeah, she was right. She's no longer with us.
What I'm saying is that like generationally, that's probably very common back in the day.
Because they lived through depression. My grandmother lived through like the depression.
Yeah, even my parents. Now it's like everything's done on a card.
Of course.
You know, so like I don't think there's a lot of people that has
let's ask
a ton of cash dug up. Like what movie was it? Vegas Vacation. The National Lampoons, where he's got I don't think that's
what is Brent
Cousin Eddie? That's a great movie. As of 2023, approximately 4.23% or 4.2% of households.
Do you know how many people that is?
Wait. About 5.6 million are completely quote
million.
unbanked,
I need
no one in the household has checking or savings account.
I want the geography. I want like another layer to this search.
Well,
the search that I would say is number one, I want California, and then I also want San Diego.
No, but hear me out. You're more likely to have all your money under a mattress than come back from 6 runs down, is what we just learned. So think about that. More people have all their cash under a mattress that have come back from 6-run deficits. But here's what I was going to say to our listeners. If you're keeping cash under your mattress, your money's only going down in value every single day.
Yeah.
With inflation, put the thing in the right. I mean, you want the stuff to grow.
A couple percent interest.
Yeah, you want something at
a little
least.
Bit.
So
They're
there's
a financial analyst. I don't know how we got there.
Advice.
I don't know how we got there. How did we get to that topic?
No idea.
Taxes.
Tax day was yesterday.
Yeah, but there was something before that.
Did they? Now, did you? This
I
is
got
a
it.
personal
I know
question.
where we're going. Sure.
But I'm going to ask you this
What's
anyway.
your social?
Do you get money back or do you pay?
Yeah, I know where I was going with this. I was telling you that I was trying to tell you that this is the first year in a really long time that I did not do an extension.
Oh, you normally do the extension?
I'm so bad. Brother, I'm like, it's almost as if everyone's going on vacation around this time of the year, then I'm going to wait till everybody's done with their vacation. So I just get an extension and I end up doing it in like August or whatever, because you get until
procrastinate like that. It would just hang over me.
That's how I'd always do it. This is the first year I got my stuff done early enough that I don't have to worry about it.
You pay them or they pay you at the end of the day?
You got to understand. So when I was at ESPN, I was there for 15 years. Everything is W-2.
Sure. So you probably got money back.
I better get money back.
Right,
Damn,
exactly.
They took everything.
But now you kind of work for yourself.
So now I was like, now I owe.
Yeah. Same.
But what the thing, the beauty is, I told it's Mission Hills Financial where I go. So I mentioned that. I told them, I already let them know. I said, listen, let's do everything cash moving forward.
Everything cash. Because I talked to John, and John said 4% of everybody right now is under. By the way, probably don't want to put it under your mattress. Let's find a different place. By the way, they took money, like it's like the ACH, like it comes right out of your bank account on tax day.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. They're like, hey, it's going to come out 4/15.
Yeah.
When I woke up on 4/15, it was out. Like they know what they're doing. It's not their first rodeo in terms of like the whole taxes.
Well, until they owe you money, and they're like,
we'll
90 days, 90 to 120 days.
All right, Shannon McMillan at 4:30, Jesse Rogers from ESPN at 5 p.m. right now. Let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
How long will this Padres win streak last?
Oh, now we're trying to put numbers by. Is this safe to do? Can we do this, or is this? I thought they were going to lose yesterday, anyways. Let's say this. I'm going to go 9. They're at 7 right now. I think they take today, and then they start a 3-game set in Anaheim. Wait, that means I'm saying Bueller and Marquez are grabbing W's in the next 2 days, and they lose.
King?
They wouldn't have King. It wouldn't be King, right? Because King's second in the order, so they probably go Waldron.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I go 8.
You're going to go 8?
I'll go 8.
I'll go 6.
I'll go one more.
They've won 7.
I'll say one more. Get to 10.
I will say this.
You should go to 10.
Have you seen what Trout is doing? He's the first player ever to homer in 4 straight games as a visitor at Yankee Stadium. Just finished that off today. He had 5 home runs in those 4 games.
Wow.
So he's kind of back, I guess, at least for the time being. Listen, we all know baseball. It's hard to win even 7 straight over the course of 162. So
you're making too many excuses up.
Now I'm rooting for 10, and I've got some motivations.
Sure.
But I'm rooting for 10. So you know what?
Go
I'm
10.
Speak it into existence. The win streak will go 10 games. The Padres have not had a 10-game winning streak in a very long time. I don't know when, but it's been a very long time. Next question.
Which of these would you rather have expand? The NCAA tournament or the college football playoff?
Ooh.
How good of a question is that?
I think for me, it's an easy answer.
Okay.
College basketball, the last thing they need to do is expand. I can be sold on college football expanding. So for me, it's college football. They're at 12 right now. I think that what would expansion go? Probably to 16, right? I don't see them going past 16. Let's assume it's going to be 16. I actually think 16 is the right number. And that also might help a team like San Diego State. So I think 16 is the right number. You don't need any more teams in college basketball.
Here's the thing. If I'm only expanding one, I'm doing the college football playoff. But let me go further than 16. And just let me take you through my plan
88?
for 1 second. I go 132. I think there's
if Adam Silver was running college football,
plans,
he'd probably have that.
But hear me out on 24. Tell me where this doesn't make sense. 24 teams, you have 10 FBS leagues. All the champions are in. All the champions are in. The other 14, do as you so choose. If they all go to the SEC and Big Ten, I will never complain one time.
Because all you have to do then is win your conference to get in.
The 10 are in. The other 14 are at large. They can have a committee. It could be the 8th place team in the Big Ten. I won't complain. But let Liberty in if they win the Sun Belt. I don't even know if they're in that. Let San Diego State in if they win the Pac-12. Make it more like the NCAA basketball tournament. That to me is at least somewhat fair and reasonable.
Yeah, I want to. I think that this 24 just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. Because stop with the NBA. You leave the NBA out of it. No, but what's going to happen if it's like Georgia and Liberty and it's 67-0?
There'll be 4.9 million viewers on True TV. You know what I mean?
I think we've determined there's always going to be people watching. I think the question just is it right for your sport?
Do you want more Meineke Car Care Bowl Tuesday at 2:30
I don't want any of that.
Between Duke and Wyoming?
I like the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Can they sacrifice a muffler at the end of the game?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Pop-Tarts,
Like
and I'm gonna be into it.
Next question.
Oh, Conference USA is where Liberty is, by the way. Is Steph Curry the most exciting player of his generation?
Steph Curry, the most exciting player of his generation. Can we list out? I mean, I'm trying to think here. If we give Steph Curry his generation, so who are we putting in there? LeBron, Steph, KD. Kobe's not.
No, I wouldn't put them in the same generation.
I wouldn't either, right? So basically, I think what we're saying is the players that are still around today,
although that is interesting,
that have been around.
One. How much overlap would there be in Steph and Kobe's career? At least a handful of years, correct?
Decent. I mean, his final year was 2016.
I still think a lot of people would make the Steph case. In terms of excitability, not better. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I think most exciting player to watch. Man, Steph has had this run where it's like you can't take your eyes off of him. The game kind of evolved because a player like Steph Curry. I'm okay with most exciting player of his generation. I'm okay with that. Again, not the best player, just sheer excitement. He's pretty damn exciting.
I would give it to Kawhi. I'm kidding. But they're just completely different players, obviously. It's Steph because last night kind of proves that he can be and has been that must-watch guy. These things happen.
Can't do it for extended.
What did he score? 18 points in the third quarter. He's just. It feels like you have more than a puncher's chance with him, quote unquote, healthier on the floor. Now I get it. In the 7-game series against Oklahoma City, if they get there, I don't think they have a puncher's chance. I don't think he just lifts them at his age to that. But I do feel like in his prime, you just always have that puncher's chance with him on the floor.
But I think it was more for me his style of play.
His style, because he shoots from 39 feet.
The style is what made him exciting. I've never seen this before. He's the greatest shooter of all time. I mean, it's all of that made him the most exciting.
Now everyone shoots. It's really incredible. And he's a big reason. I said before, dudes are it's amazing the shot making that goes on right now in the NBA. I said this last night. It is just an incredible display.
Steph really kind of changed the game.
Yeah, he really did.
To an extent.
Final question.
Who wins tomorrow's playing games?
We got more, Alan. We have
all right,
more.
Tomorrow playing, if I'm right here, I'm trying off the top of my head. You got the Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets.
In O-Town.
By the way, LaMelo Ball did not get suspended.
We haven't talked about it.
About a $60K fine because of some of the profanity he used in the post game.
That's fine.
Yeah, you know what? I was okay with it too, even though yesterday we were making the argument that he should be suspended. But
we didn't go all in. We just thought out of principle it made sense.
Okay, so I'm going to go Orlando, who, by the way, yesterday I was 0 for 2. I'll go Orlando and I'll go Phoenix. No, I'll go Warriors with the upset.
It's so funny because
Warriors with the upset.
Funny because Magic at home are 3.5-point dogs.
Magic at home,
it's a fairly significant number. And then
interesting.
Suns at home are 3.5-point favorites.
So I went opposite on both of those.
And the Clippers were a 5.5-point favorite last night. Obviously lost outright.
Yeah.
So you went Warriors and Magic?
I'm going Warriors and Magic.
I'll go Hornets, Suns.
Hornets, Suns. Okay, and then we'll do. And what's at stake is If I'm right,
$100,000.
well, I was going to say, if I'm right, you pay my taxes. If I'm wrong, you still pay my taxes.
I don't know who's the big winner.
I don't
there.
know either.
All right. On the other side, again at 5 p.m., Jesse Rogers will join the show from ESPN. The Padres are 12-6. He's a baseball reporter for ESPN. He'll join us then. We'll continue on the NBA conversation on the other side. Has Kawhi played his last game in a Clippers uniform? Plus, Shannon McMillan, World Cup champion, Olympic champion, will join us coming up at 4:30 here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaefer again for our friends at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. You're going to love their hotel and spa. You really will at Hamul. You're going to experience elevated luxury. They've got this just gorgeous hotel, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Hamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. Take your stay to the next level. They've got exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. Their food is just phenomenal, whether it's Tony Gwynn's Endless Dining or it's Hamul 23. But with Tony Gwynn, you can enjoy San Diego's favorite endless dining experience. That's Wednesday through Sunday at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. And then with Hamul 23, they've got their lobster buffet every day. Enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with their signature breakfast buffet, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10:30, with made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. U.S. soccer star, retired soccer player Shannon McMillan will join us coming up. A couple of matches, men's matches coming to Snapdragon Stadium in anticipation for the World Cup.
Oh, how cool is that?
It's very cool. This June, World Cup gets underway. I want to say late June. I'll just say it. Right? World Cups. Brian, when's the World Cup start? Can you look that up? I'm pretty sure it starts in June. Here, I'll ask. When's the World Cup start?
When was that not the greatest? By the way, that's a trip. That's
Yeah,
4
June 11th.
years ago.
June 11th.
Was that not the greatest last year? The final between Argentina and France.
Don't ruin it for me. Is this like, I haven't seen it yet.
Come on, man.
I'm kidding.
He TiVoed it.
How good was that?
Oh, it was theater. Here's the
Honestly,
thing.
you can't. And you had. Here's what you want. You want two powerhouse countries. You had them. France has got a phenomenal history. Argentina, I don't need to tell you, obviously, their history. You want big time stars. You don't get any bigger than Messi. And Mbappe is an absolute stud, especially at that time.
Yeah.
And then you're asking for a good game. And everything was like, you can't get any better.
But you didn't want like the Cinderella, like in a final. You didn't want the FAU in there, like that. Has money taken some of these nations out of it?
If one of them was in there, I'll ride with it. But
Yeah.
it wasn't. And just like the setup of Argentina, France was phenomenal.
Good theater. All right. So last night, Clippers, a favorite, go out with a thud. In the process, by the way, you brought this to my attention earlier. By losing last night, they've now forfeited a future lottery pick this year to Oklahoma
From which
City.
trade? From which trade?
From the Shea trade in 2019.
Oh,
all that
my
PG
gosh.
7 years ago. The awful trade gets awfuler, which isn't a word.
Shea Gilgeous, Jalen Williams, another pick coming this year, which is 11th or 12th in the first round this year, which, by the way,
Could be elevated
gives
as
them
high as
also
one.
a 2% chance of getting the number one pick. It doesn't even matter if you have the number one pick this year. There's basically four guys that everyone's fighting over. We'll
Right,
see
so
what
they can
happens.
Play up to that. Yep.
All right, even if you're top four. By the way, even if you're top 10,
Well,
that's
even
an
if you're 11 or
unbelievable
12.
pick
Yeah, and the fact that they get another pick
from the
from the
Clippers.
Clippers is ridiculous. And then there's just Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi, no joke. I think a lot of people that cover the NBA would tell you he just had his best, most complete regular season in a long, long time. Again, he's won championships, but I think he put together a hell of a season. Now what? You've got this franchise that's old. Clearly, you're not going to win a championship just around Kawhi with the Clippers. I mean, they were the 10 seed or the 9 seed this year. So what do the Clippers do? What does Kawhi want to do? And can Kawhi get back in the conversation to be a part of a team that's going to contend for an NBA title before his time is done?
So if I'm correct here, I'm looking at his contract right now, and I think this is a player option that he has. So and look, he's going to try to get paid as much as all these guys would love to compete. Kawhi does have 2 NBA championships. So, I mean, technically, if he does nothing else, I mean, he has a freaking championship with the Toronto Raptors and a finals MVP. Kawhi's resume is already set. So I don't know if this is all just going to come down to money and just wanting to be in LA. However, here's what I'll tell you. I think he should leave the Clippers. And I think he should leave the Clippers for a number of different reasons. This cloud about the aspiration stuff ain't going anywhere. And this cloud is on the Clippers, whether they like it or not. We'll see what happens over time. But it has not been a good look for Kawhi Leonard over the course of the last 7-8 months, really since the season started. If Kawhi Leonard's your best player, you don't have a chance at a championship at this stage of Kawhi's career. By the way, this isn't even a Kawhi thing. You need more talent around you if you're going to compete for a championship in that Western Conference. I'd love to see Kawhi go somewhere else. I'd love to see Kawhi be the second best player on a team and put himself back in a position for competing. He ain't competing with the Clippers. It's just not going to happen.
You made this point to me prior to a show about just the general idea of him staying in LA but going to the Lakers. Now, this was a topic in his prime when he first came to LA, obviously. And he ultimately, as we know, lands with the Clippers. Is there a world? I mean, Kawhi's not trying to win some press conference or get great PR. He doesn't care, to his credit, I think, to his credit. So, I mean, okay, maybe it would be a little awkward. Is it even that awkward? If you're Kawhi Leonard and you want to be in Southern California, clearly he has wanted to be in Southern California.
Sure.
There are advantages to it. He has
Does he live in
residence
SD?
San Diego.
Yeah, he lives in
Yes,
San Diego, right?
he certainly has family and residence in Southern California, and I think in San Diego County. Why not consider? Is that a remote possibility or no?
I think there's got to be some. Let me pretend, and let's just say they can make the dollars work. Let me just pretend all that. Okay. Kawhi Leonard on the Lakers with Luka Doncic as the best player on the team.
I want to see that.
Allows Kawhi to then just be the best version of himself at this stage of his career. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's dishing out 12 times a game, 10 times a game.
Perfect.
He's also scoring 35 if he needs to. The scoring champion this year. But Kawhi also has this, he's got the ability to play defense. The only question is just from an age perspective, right? How much money is he asking for? And listen, this isn't us saying Kawhi's coming to the Lakers. It's just kind of the concept. Hey, if you want to stay in Southern California and you want to give yourself a chance to win, the future looks much brighter for the Lakers than it does for the Clippers.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to go play for the San Diego Clippers just to stay in Southern California.
I don't think so.
So he doesn't have a ton of options is the point.
I don't think so.
Shannon McMillan, former U.S. soccer star. She's in the Soccer Hall of Fame. She'll join us on the other side. A couple of upcoming men's matches at Snapdragon Stadium in anticipation for the upcoming World Cup. She'll join us coming up next. Jesse Rogers, ESPN baseball reporter. He'll join us at 5 p.m. right here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. I'll get your number.
This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Padres and Mariners are getting set for Game 3 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. The Padres are going for the 3-game sweep. It's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Walker Buehler going for the Padres. First pitch is set for 5:40. And we have our Final Four in the NBA play-in tournament starting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We got Hornets and Magic, and then at 7:30, it's the Warriors taking on Phoenix. Both those games will be to be the 8th seed in their respective conferences. So if you have questions about youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA builds better athletes and better people through sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
All right, San Diego Sports 760. It's going to be an amazing summer for soccer fans in the States, in North America, and in San Diego. We've got Shannon McMillan with us, the World Cup champion, the Olympic champion, a soccer Hall of Famer with us right now. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760.
She's got every award. She took every award.
I know, we don't have anything. She's got everything. We find out today, Shannon, that we're going to get a couple of international soccer matches at Snapdragon as we lead up and ramp up for the upcoming Men's World Cup this summer. Switzerland and Australia, Colombia and Jordan. By the way, tickets at sandiegofc.com/countdown to 26. How much are you looking forward to this? And this is really unique for San Diego to have this opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting. I am super proud to be a part of Sports San Diego, to partner alongside SDFC and Snapdragon to bring World Cup soccer to San Diego. I think it only solidifies once and for all that San Diego is truly a soccer city.
What just kind of building off of that, and it has been such a great run to have San Diego Wave a part of the city now, to have SDFC obviously adding this to the portfolio for San Diego. What's the future like? How do you predict San Diego sports in 5 years, 10 years from now? What do you think is the ceiling for San Diego?
I don't think there is. I think, you look already to LA 28. We're going to be hosting 11 Olympic matches as well. And I think it's, the World Cup, every kid grows up, grows up dreaming of being in the Olympics, but soccer players, they dream of being in a World Cup because that's the pinnacle event. And the fact that we've got a team like Switzerland that are going to call San Diego their home base in preparation for the World Cup, and to be able to have 2 matches like this as their last match before the World Cup, I think the World Cup, every 4 years, you see the casual soccer fan become a fanatic, and the supporters of these countries are going to be in Snapdragon. It's going to be electric. It's going to be exciting. And I think it's just going to elevate and highlight the game locally. And San Diego, I have no doubt, is going to show up, and we're going to put on a great show for everyone.
Shannon McMillan with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. Again, a couple of matches coming up June 6th and 7th. Tickets at sandiegofc.com/countdown to 26. Well, you've watched this play out here locally at Snapdragon Stadium. What can you say about Snapdragon Stadium as a soccer venue?
It's great. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house. I grew up locally in Escondido. There was no professional soccer. There was no World Cup stuff like this. To see such a high quality stadium like that, I've been at SDFC games, and that place is just insane. With the supporters and the fans. So I think getting this international flair is just going to be another level. And I think a challenge to the SDFC fans to step up their game moving forward, because like I said, these countries just live and breathe soccer, and this is such a pinnacle event. And to be able to have this in our backyard is such a special treat. And I hope everyone gets their tickets and comes out and supports and enjoys the weekend with us, because they're going to be 2 great games.
All right. So the tickets at the website, sandiegofc.com/countdown to 26. Shanna, I'm curious, the actual matches. So maybe there's somebody here locally in San Diego, whether they love soccer or maybe soccer is not their top sport. Can you just explain how critical these games are leading into the World Cup, and what you can expect from just a competition perspective, and of course everything else that we've talked about and how great it is to come out to to Snapdragon Stadium and everything else. But can you talk about the actual soccer portion and what this means to these countries?
Yeah, I think when, you see an international friendly match play somewhat close, you go out and you might not see all the big stars, because it's just a friendly, but this is the final tune-up before the World Cup. So guaranteed you're going to see all the top names. You're talking about countries that are, Switzerland, and Australia, they have qualified for World Cup since 2006. They haven't missed one. So they will bring their game. This is the final tune-up. Yes, they're going to make a lot of subs, but again, for the casual fan, come out, and if you feel the excitement and the passion that these countries' supporters bring to the game, it's contagious, and it's going to get you hooked to be following these teams throughout the entire Cup this summer.
What do you think it's going to mean? Because I'm trying to think, when you're young, obviously, you've got the Men's World Cup that comes here in 94. You're part of the team, the women's team, obviously, the iconic team that wins a World Cup in 1999. What is the World Cup in 2026 this summer in North America just going to mean for soccer, men's and women's soccer in this country moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's, it's such a unifying event, and it's a time to celebrate the sport. And, I think I was blessed with 12 years with the U.S. women's team. I was never told no. I was able to play every sport growing up, and blessed to be able to part of that 99 team, along with some Olympics. And, there's so many young athletes and soccer players, boys and girls, running around the fields of San Diego right now training, that are going to get to see this up close and personal. And there's nothing like it, because I didn't have that growing up in Escondido. I didn't have a professional league to aspire to. I didn't have a World Cup to aspire to. So having these young kids, I'm a massive believer in, if you can see it, you can be it. So it's going to be exciting to see these young fans get a taste of, hey, I want to do that. Maybe I can, and see that there is a pathway to do it.
Chad, when you look back, you reflect, and obviously you've won a World Cup before, and you think back to 1999, and I think for everybody, right? If you're at the age where you remember that moment, or you're old enough to remember that moment, there's I know where I watched that game and how special that moment was. When you look back this far, or you talk about your experience being in it, just what are some of the things that come directly to mind, where maybe what we see versus actually somebody that was a part of it?
Yeah, I think, it's a great question, and it's always hard to put that into words, because, I always joke that I could go out to any youth sporting event right now, court or field, and I could tell you the parents that had some sort of athletic career, because they're normally, more often than not, the quieter ones, because they know how hard it is, no matter what level they played at. They know the sacrifice that goes into it. They know how hard. They know the singular focus to be the best at what you're doing. And to have a World Cup, which is just, so many other countries, this is their main sport. They don't have football or baseball like we do here in the States. This is their lifeline. And to have that coming through here, and it's hard to put into words. Imagine having your most wildest, craziest dream before you could even happen. It wasn't even happening at the time. And then being able to be a part of it with 19 women that you took 6 months, and we didn't have a league. So we had to go into a residential period where we moved to Florida to train together, put all our lives on hold. And then all of a sudden, the wildest dream comes true along 19 women that became sisters and family, that to this day, we still have a WhatsApp chain where we make fun of each other. We celebrate each other. We laugh at each other. We cry with each other. And it's just something that is so bonding for life, and just an incredible experience that, it's exciting for us, because we were truly just doing it for the love of the game. So now that we have a professional league, men's and women's in San Diego, this is my hometown. It's near and dear to me. It's just something that it's incredibly exciting. And now again, to be hosting World Cup matches, we got Olympic matches coming. It's a great time to be a soccer fan in San Diego.
Yeah, absolutely love that perspective. Shannon McMillan with us right now on San Diego Sports 760. Final one for me, Shannon, before you go. Could you see a world, this is probably looking ahead a little bit, or maybe even speaking out of turn, but the Women's World Cup is coming to the States in 2031, which is still a handful of years away. Obviously, we know how good San Diego has been as a market now for soccer, and now we have Snapdragon Stadium. Could we see a Women's World Cup played in San Diego in the future? Would you like to see that? I'm sure you would.
I would love to see it. I think they might need to add a few more seats if they want to get a USA game. I mean, back in 99, we had over 90,000. World Cup. We can, the U.S. team can draw the fans for sure, but I think definitely, what a better place to play than San Diego.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it happen and would love to see it happen.
All right, we'll get out. You want to go to Snapdragon now? Well, John and I will start heading out there. We'll start adding some seats.
Yeah.
Maybe Chula Vista can do it. Well, let's find a place to do it.
No doubt about it.
Get to work on that. Triple that stadium, and the U.S. will come.
I love it. Shannon McMillan, again, we appreciate you taking time. I know our listeners are looking forward to this summer against Switzerland, Australia, June 6th, Colombia versus Jordan, June 7th. Those teams preparing to compete on the global stage this summer. Tickets at sandiegofc.com/countdown to 26. Thank you, Shannon, for taking time for us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you out there.
All right. Looking forward to it. Again, Shannon McMillan, the Hall of Famer, World Cup champion. I mean, are you kidding me? That is one of the more iconic sports moments in modern American sports history.
Actually, you took it where it should go, because what I was going to say is the Rose Bowl has iconic moments, right? The Rose Bowl's got many iconic moments.
Sure.
And I could say, the Vince Young.
I was thinking Vince Young.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the more iconic moments.
But PKs in front of 90,000 people.
Brother, you
win the World Cup.
You go out to the Rose Bowl today. There is, that I don't know if it's I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There is, could be a plaque, whatever it is. It is the 100-year history of the Rose Bowl. That's one of the biggest moments by far from there. How cool is that? She was a part of it.
Randy Chastain. Come on.
I love how she was trying to explain. She's like, I just can't explain it.
There's certain things that are like, I mean, it is funny. Like, it's hard for me to relate to someone that won a World Cup. You know what I mean? They've done something that we're not ever going to you just want to be in the building when someone wins a World Cup.
Yeah.
They actually won the World Cup. You
point.
can't relate to that.
That's such a good point.
And then forever you've won the World Cup. That can never be taken.
All right, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, it was the 3-year anniversary for Lamont Butler, right? Hitting the shot for San Diego
earlier
State.
this month.
Okay. We talked about it from our perspective of just a fan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think his perspective is? I mean, what if you're the guy that actually hit the damn shot? What if you're the teammate that was right there and was, in
the air,
is running back to try to see if you could go grab a rebound if he misses? What if you're Dutch? You're right that our experience is just literally as a fly on the wall. These are the actual people that made it happen.
You know, it's funny. They all froze in that moment when Lamont put up the shot because they saw the buzzer sound and the red go around the backboard. There was no rebound. They all froze. They knew it.
Yeah, you're right. This is it.
It.
It either goes in or it doesn't.
And I want to say Nathan Mensah, Ogwukoro, Micah Parrish, Keyshawn Johnson. I think that is the group that was on the floor with Lamont Butler. Of course, Jim Nantz famously says they don't have any shooters on the floor. Will he take a timeout?
Coming off the rebound.
Shooters on the floor.
But you had the ball in the right hand.
They had a shooter on the floor. Yeah. The shot went in. Spoiler alert.
I'm going to assume you never posted that video that we were talking about of the final shot.
On the 50-year anniversary.
Yeah, take your time. No rush.
I have a ridiculous video of my reaction to Lamont Butler.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's great. It's fantastic.
My reaction is quasi-ridiculous.
Well, look at the circumstance.
Yeah, how could you not?
You just look what an idiot I was in the stands.
That's right. You were in the stands. We were all.
I thought you were going to say that's right. You are an idiot.
Jesse Rogers from ESPN on the Padres looming sail. Their 7-game winning streak, their 12-6 start. The state of the NL West. Jesse Rogers will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We're here until 6. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. We're going to hear from Craig Stammen. Padres lineup is out. Have we confirmed it's different for the 19th consecutive game?
I don't know if it is, but it very well could be.
It very well could be a different lineup. It's working, whatever he's doing. The strings he's now pulling, we're talking about Craig Stammen, are working. I mean, just, hey, Tatis, day off works. Whatever they did yesterday, who sat yesterday, whatever, it worked.
Tatis was yesterday.
He
comes in and pinch hits in the ninth.
He had the sac fly in the ninth inning. So, again, the strings they're pulling, by and large, are paying off. So it's encouraging.
Yeah, and it's we said this a little bit earlier. We'll see what the Padres are able to do. I mean, look, they got a chance. Mariners were playing some really good baseball. We talked to the Mariners broadcaster earlier in the week, and they coming off a sweep of the Houston Astros. But at the same time, it's a good test for both of these squads. Padres were on a heater. They sweep the Rockies or grab 4 from the Rockies. Seattle grabs 4, of course, from the Houston Astros. And I think to this point, all you're trying to do if you're San Diego, can you kind of start getting a little bit of an identity? And I think we're kind of starting to see a little bit of an identity. Padres seem like they're a tough out every single night. They're not going to play perfect baseball, but they got a lot of guys that I think are grinding. They got some comeback wins. They got some great games where they've blown out squads. You might get a good start from Walker Buehler and a bad one from Marquez or vice versa. So I think we're all learning a little bit more about the Padres. The one thing you can't say is that the effort's not there, any of that stuff. That part we don't have to worry about.
No, I mean, I think it's been a very impressive start. Considering they were 2-5, I mean, this is kind of almost remarkable. It truly is remarkable. They're 12-6 right now. Let's hear from Craig Stammen. Jesse Rogers, ESPN baseball reporter, will join us in about 10 minutes. Let's just hear a few minutes with Craig Stammen. This starts with an update on the health of catcher Freddie Fermin.
Yeah, Freddie, obviously got hit in the head yesterday in the game. Came out of it pretty good. Not feeling too bad. Last night just kind of had, what we called a head contusion. So it's a little sore, but concussion tests, all that stuff came back negative. Today, feeling even better, feels normal. So available for the game today.
And then Duran is here, so what would be the plan for him?
Yeah, we can bring him up as a taxi squad catcher, emergency. Obviously whenever you have head injuries, you never know, they could change on a dime. Freddie could go out here, take BP, have a headache, and then, all that kind of changes. So we have him just in case an emergency, something goes awry with Freddie. But feel very comfortable with him being here.
I know you touched on it a little bet last night, but Jackson's home run robbery. From your vantage point, could you just share with us how you saw that unfold?
Yeah, when he hit it, I was like, oh, that's a homer. But, kind of Petco Park held it in, and then Jackson made an amazing play. Played that corner out there in center field really well. Like, he's been here for a really long time, and just an amazing play, and, ends up giving us a chance to come back and win at the end.
Well, because he hasn't been here for that long, right? And then we also take into account that he hadn't played outfield until he got here as a Padre. So how does that remind you how special his athleticism is?
Yeah, he's just a great athlete. Shortstop being his natural position. Remember that spring training, we're just seeing if he could play left field, and then we're like, well, why don't we just stick him in center field? And he's turned it basically a Gold Glove caliber center fielder for us.
What drama after 3 walk-offs in a week do you guys have planned for us tonight?
Hopefully a nice and comfortable, easy win. But, that I don't know if that would be any fun for anybody. So we'll see. The guys are going to keep playing hard, keep sticking to the process. We'll see what happens as a result.
The first 2 walk-offs came on one swing for bogey for Sheets. But last night it was a little bit different in the sense that it was grinded out, tough at bats, move the line. Is there some value this early in the year in having that kind of comeback in particular?
Yeah, it was a little bit more unexpected than the other 2. It just speaks to these guys continuing to compete, no matter what the score is, no matter what style of games being played, that they're up at the bat competing. Manny had a great at bat to lead off that 9th inning. That got it started. Gave everybody hope that we could possibly get this done, and things went our way, and things kind of went our way with a few bloops and then a couple hard hits that finish it off.
Walker Buehler up down tonight, really good his last time out, 6 shutout innings. He was efficient. How do you hope he builds on that today?
Yeah, looking for the same thing. I think he's figured a few things out over his first few starts here with us, and then it all came together last start against the Rockies. So, we'll see if he can do it again against the Mariners, but we expect him to do that. He's in a good spot right now with us, and feel really good about Walker taking the ball today.
All right, so that's Craig Stammen. Again, as the Padres get ready to play the final game of the series coming up in less than an hour. Not mentioned in there, and I don't know how much we touched on it today. I did want to make note, and we have touched on it, but we should speak to the fact that in the 3 walk-off wins, Luis Campusano played a huge role in all 3 of them. Not just last night. Last night he's down 0-2. 2 outs in the 9th inning. You're down to a final strike. They were down to a final strike 3 times in the 9th inning with 3 different batters, and they won the game. But in all 3 games, Gavin Sheets last night saying there's no 3 walk-offs without Campusano. He hasn't been the guy that has gotten it done, but he's been the guy that has made them happen, like moving the line, to your point. So Luis Campusano, I mean, this is kind of storybook stuff for him. He could have been out of the organization last summer easily. They stuck with him. They're paying him $1 million, and it's obviously paid off.
We started the show yesterday. Campusano had this chest out, like, hey, I just, what's changed? How come you're having some success? I just don't give an F anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of probably, I'm sure reporters there were like, what happened? He doubled down. He said it again. I love that Gavin Sheets, because you're right. So many times you could forget. You heard Craig Stammen mention in the interview as well. Hey, Manny, let it off for us. Like all these little things might happen that we forget about. Sheets going out of his way, who, by the way, had the 3-run bomb in order for the Padres to win that game against the Rockies. For him to say, hey, this is how key Campusano has been. Who cares if you and I hear it? But if that gets back to Campusano, who just feels like, hey, I got some value on this team. I can help this team. I have been disappointing in my career. There has been a negative, maybe, perception around Campusano. It's a great moment for him. And, we spend so much time, especially what you and I do. We have 15 hours a week where we're talking about everyone and everything. And there's a lot of times we're critical, and a lot of times we're criticized, and that's just kind of comes with the territory. If you go to a good restaurant, you probably tell one person. You go to a bad restaurant, you want to tell everybody how bad it was. So I think to see Campusano getting some love and having some success, I hope it holds up, because that attitude of I just don't give an F has helped him.
It also speaks to this point because a lot of people are quick to malign or critique Ethan Salas, at one point the top prospect in the organization. Luis Campusano might pan out to be a pretty good major league catcher. Jury's out. Can't base it off 2 weeks. But he's 27. Oftentimes, catchers develop late. You could be great from 27 to 37. It's very rare you're great from 19 to 27 as a catcher. It's very, very rare. So, Ethan Salas, it's going to takes time to bake with that position specifically to put it all together.
The problem with Salas is from such a young age,
everyone's
talking
the
about
second coming of the greatest catcher in baseball.
So now all of a sudden, it's like if you don't come out and are just demolishing it in the minor leagues, people can say, well, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with him? How old is he now?
19.
Come on. Like, just think about that for a second. The dude's 19 years old. Maybe it also has something to do with AJ Preller has gone out there and basically sold everything in the farm system to have the team that they have today. And he's done that here for the last couple of years. And he's also the most recognizable name in the minor league system.
Yeah, it's interesting because he hasn't hit a lick in the minor leagues, including this year, where he's been below average. But he's 19. And I'm telling you, what you do at 19 doesn't necessarily mean you can't do it when you're 25. Doesn't mean you will. But there are worlds where 19-year-olds 5 years later look like completely different players. It'll be interesting to see his career arc. Jesse Rogers, ESPN baseball reporter on the other side, back with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. And Padres and Mariners are getting set for game 3 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. And Padres are going for the 3-game sweep. It's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Walker Buehler going for the Padres. First pitch is set for 5:40. We have our final 4 in the NBA play-in games. Tomorrow starting at 4:00, we got Hornets at Magic, and at 7:30, we got Golden State at Phoenix. Both those games will be to be the number 8 seed in each of their conferences. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
All right, final hour as the Padres get ready for their final game of their 3-game series against the Mariners. The Padres have won 7 straight. It's great to connect once again with Jesse Rogers, baseball reporter at ESPN, with us on Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760. Jesse, hope you're doing well, and we appreciate you taking time for us out west. I guess I would just start with this fast start for the Padres. 7 consecutive wins, 12-6 overall. Is it surprising from where you sit to see what they've done to start the year?
I'd say just a little bit. There's been some good offensive production throughout the lineup. Some guys are slumping. Not everyone's off to a good start, but it's been spread out, and you've gotten just enough to win some of these games. I do think a little bit of, I don't want to say it's a house of cards, but I think you're probably playing your record's a little bit better than maybe the team is in general. In a sense, like, not sure about that starting staff with Pivetta down now. So we're going to see. We're going to see what they're made of. But, yeah, it's a nice start. I actually texted A.J. Preller today after – I didn't even know I was going to be on with you guys, but after that late night last night, for me, I'm in the Midwest. I stayed up and saw that thing, and he just said, wow, that was fun, that kind of thing. So, that was exciting finish last night. Look, it doesn't matter how you win them as long as you win them. So I just watching with a little bit of a skeptical eye, especially as Pivetta goes down here and you've got to replace those innings. But I do like, let's say this, I like their lineup better at this point now than this point last year. So they have lengthened it. They did that in the July trade deadline. Added Castellanos off to a little bit slow start, but I think it'll be good. It'll be lengthy. It'll have its good moments. It'll have its bad moments, but I think it'll be good enough to keep you in games. I just wonder about that starting staff.
Playing above their weight. Let's just kind of go with that 12-6. But let's kind of talk big picture here. A few months from now, I mean, kind of where do you see the Padres in the NL? And you emphasized it a couple of times, and we spent all show yesterday talking about the Nick Pivetta injury, and really have spent all week talking about it. We know it's going to be significant, but just based off of what you think the potential of this team is, or the roster, how do you see the Padres over the next couple of months?
Well, it'd be nice if AJ gets his checkbook back come July trade deadline time. Not that, it's funny, I was talking to another executive. We always think about needing money at the July trade deadline. You need some money, but you also need some assets, and he's always done good in that respect. So hopefully he can work his magic for your guys' sake in late July. I do think they're going to be part of the pack. I think this start is a little bit over their skis. I mean, every team in that division is in the wrong division, unfortunately, because you're just going to have this Goliath at the top there you have to deal with. Much better if you're in the Centrals, AL or NL, although the NL Central is pretty good so far this year. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough division. The bottom isn't that great right now, but I think San Francisco will be better. And Colorado's still that kind of team you don't want to play in Colorado. So long story short, I think the Padres will be part of that pack. They have been the last few years. Getting off to a good start can hurt things. You're getting healthier with Jason Adam. Like, the bullpen is looking good, even though a couple of the mainstays are off to bad starts. I just don't know about that starting staff. It was kind of thin with Pivetta. You need some guys to step up there, and of course Musgrove to come back. So that would be my concern. The most important part of a baseball team is the one that's kind of tenuous with you guys there. So I just do think they'll be part of the pack, but maybe not necessarily, winning 12 of every 18 games. Let's put it that way.
ESPN's Jesse Rogers with us right now here on San Diego Sports 760. You mentioned the fact that Will Preller have the dollars to spend. Obviously, the Padres are on the verge of being sold. From 30,000 feet, what is it about the Padres that are commanding this price at this time? CBA negotiations coming up. We know the richest sale in baseball history was a while ago with the Mets. This franchise will command over $3 billion. What can you just say about the state of the franchise as a whole?
Well, you guys are much closer to it than I am, but from a distance, we know what's gone on there over the last few years, and Peter Seidler did such a good job spending money to hopefully make money. I'm not sure if it really came to fruition, the making money part, but you built something special there. The only game in town, packing that place. It's a great place to spend an evening and a pretty entertaining team. So it's the right moment at the right time for the sale of this team. And yeah, there's a labor issue coming up, but glass half full, they're hoping even if you don't play for a while, they're going to fix these payroll disparities. And all of a sudden, maybe the Padres and these other NOS teams can compete with the Dodgers, because the Dodgers might have to shed some salary. So it's never a bad time to be in the business of professional sports. And yes, baseball teams their valuations haven't gone up exponentially like maybe NBA teams or some, NFL teams, obviously, but they still go up. Nobody's losing money owning a baseball team. So these are the factors, but I would also say, a new ownership has to look at that as the only game in town and a built-in audience who's pretty much a rabid fan base at this point. And that's a good starting point if you're buying a team.
Jesse Rogers joining us, obviously covers Major League Baseball for ESPN on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Jesse, we know that the discussion, and I love that you're not shying away from the disparity and obviously how baseball has it's got its holes here that hopefully get figured out. Of just kind of when you look at how the next year is going to play out, what do you think for the health of the sport? What is the most important thing that needs to change? And if it's obvious, I think maybe some of us know what the obvious thing is, or if there's something that maybe is not being talked about enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the obvious. I mean, it's not going to get any better in terms of payroll disparity. It's only going to continue to go in sort of opposite directions. I mean, you can make a case for and against a salary cap, but that's just even if you're not a diehard fan that knows the economics of professional sports, if you just came down from Mars and said, oh, one team is spending $400 million in salary or payroll and another team is spending $80 million, something needs to be fixed. Now, the Players Association may not even agree there's a problem because some of these smaller markets continue to make the playoffs, but I think common sense would tell you one team probably shouldn't be able to spend $400 million, another team $80 million, right? Now, should those owners that are spending 80 spend more? Maybe. So one way or another, I think that needs to be fixed, whether it be forcing owners to spend more or putting a salary cap on teams like the Dodgers. We'll find out what the answer is. But I think the obvious is kind of the problem here. If you feel like there is a problem, the one thing about all those teams making the playoffs, look, you've added extra playoff teams. There's always going to be some small markets that make it, but we haven't seen a World Series winner from a small market in a decade. And I don't know, that trend seems to, feels like it might continue.
Quick follow up to that. Are you optimistic that there is a world where we are sitting there and you feel like maybe the way the NBA is structured or the NFL structured, that there is a little bit more balance when it comes to the market is not going to determine the market, nor the amount of money is not always going to determine whether you're going to have success or not, that there's a lot other important and larger factors that come into play?
You're saying if there's a cap?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I think so. I mean, that honestly, doesn't it really put an emphasis on acquisition and player development and signing the right guys to the right contracts? Like all of a sudden, everyone's on an even playing field, and the better front offices, smarter front offices will prevail. I mean, I think that's what
that's all we want
here. Yeah. Exactly. I think that's the goal here. But certainly let's not be all pro salary cap. It would be nice if every owner had the means to spend without a cap, and you battled from April to November, then from November to April, there's a battle, right? I mean, there is now, but it seems to tilt towards the bigger markets. I mean, there's some things that are undeniable. The Dodgers and the New York teams are going to make more money than the Tampa Bay Rays and Cleveland Guardians. That's why we have revenue sharing. But obviously that may not enough. That may not be enough. The other thing that's factual is some owners are cheaper than others. So, it's that old thing. Two things can be true. We have a problem and we have cheap owners. How they find the solution, well, that's why they're going to lock themselves in a room for the next 9 months. Here's one thing I can tell you. I don't think much is going to happen between now and pick a date in late February or early March. Unfortunately, There's going to be a lot of rhetoric. There's going to be a lot of leaks and offers that are out there, and salary cap and no salary cap and all this stuff. And it's not going to matter until there's a deadline. And that deadline comes in March when they're about to miss regular season games. If in fact something gets done, it's probably going to be at the last minute.
Which is kind of how it played out last time. I remember having this discussion probably with you, Jesse, whenever it was 4 or 5, 3 or 4 years ago. I would ask you this to kind of follow up on that, Jesse Rogers from ESPN. Because on one hand, you hear a lot of people, I think we've gone down this path before, like baseball's never been better. You got the pitch clock, you have ABS, you have butts and seats, so to speak. You have viewership. You've got these new TV deals. So like, it's hard to have it both ways where you're like, you know what? Baseball's really great right now. And then on the other hand, well, baseball's got all these disparities. Do you find it to be like a kind of unique conundrum that's playing out with the sport, like right in front of our eyes?
Not exactly. Not exactly, because who says that let's pretend I'm taking the league stance here.
Yeah.
Who says that it can't be even better than it is?
Sure.
And they might think this way. The same people that brought you the clock, the no shift, the better play on the field. These are the same people proposing these economic changes. Maybe we should trust them. So I don't think it's a conundrum. I think it's good, but certainly the people in Tampa or Cleveland or the smaller markets, maybe even San Diego, probably, right? Must believe there has to be a better economic way of doing things. And San Diego is a great example because Peter Seidler did everything he could. He spent money he didn't have. And it's pretty clear that the Padres lost money, they almost didn't make payroll. And it doesn't feel like, they're faking it, right? That they lost money and stuff. It's pretty obvious. You guys could not sustain the payroll splurge he was on. So San Diego is a great example of an owner that tried, still couldn't overcome the Dodgers, and now has lost some money and all that stuff. So you can say what you want about the Pirates ownership, but at least San Diego tried, and it feels like they still didn't work. It still didn't work, even with selling a lot more tickets. Now, maybe I'm being naive. Maybe the Padres have made money hand over fist, but you talk to people around the league, they kind of saw it coming with San Diego. Man, they don't have that kind of money to spend. I mean, you can always dip in your personal account, but no owner wants to do that except for maybe Steve Cohen.
Yeah, and Jesse, just final one from me, but I think the point you're making is for him, it was more important to win. And the business part, he couldn't justify it from a business perspective, but he was trying to justify it from San Diego's never had a World Series, never ever had a championship. There is a lot of hurt here in San Diego when the Chargers left. So that's why everybody loves Peter Seidler. And that's why, hopefully new ownership can try to continue to build on the legacy that he had. Final one I have, and we greatly appreciate the time, just the Preller piece of things. You did mention, you complimented what the Padres have done so far. If they get back to the trade deadline and we're a little bit closer and now you're starting to see the Padres are in the mix again, do they have just based on how much of the farm they've given up, do you feel that Preller is still able to go out there and maneuver and make moves, or is this pretty kind of thin right now based on what the future looks like?
No, it's definitely thinner. But when I talk to my, prospect people, they're not as down. I don't know what you guys are feeling out there, but they're not that down on the Padres system, even though you've traded from it, right? So no, I think there's something there to be done. The good ones always find a way to do it, maybe quantity over quality or quality over quantity. We've seen Preller do it both ways. And it's funny, everyone always asks in July, will ownership let? I haven't heard of an owner that has a contending team. I mean, I guess it's happened. I should take that back. It's happened a few times. I think the Red Sox under Dombrowski, but most of the time, if you have a contending team, your owner's going to let you at least add on to get a little bit better. Now, the question always in the NL West is, how much should we add just to get the second or third wild card? Because we're not overcoming the big dog there, right? So that's more of a what's is the risk versus the reward question. But even with a new owner, I would think a new owner, hey, we got a good team. Let's let AJ Preller cook a little bit. So I do think that you'll be able to do what you want to do, more unless the owner just says no, shut it down. But because I don't know, but yeah, I think you have enough there. I still think you have enough there.
Jesse, appreciate you taking time. We're excited, obviously, in San Diego with baseball season back underway here in Southern California. So we appreciate it, and I look forward to doing it again later in the season.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, try to win it in 6 or 7 innings tonight. I can't stay up this late. That was I couldn't turn it off. It was too good.
You got to text Preller. You don't have the direct contact there.
And we're in San Diego. We almost turned it off. I'm not doing laundry. You just have it on because you have to, and then all of a sudden, that's the thing with baseball. You just never know. Thanks, Jesse.
It wasn't even like 3 home runs. It was like a lot of little things that went right. Yeah, ball found the grass. That's all that matters.
All added up. Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, guys, take care.
Right, good stuff from Jesse Rogers at ESPN. There's a lot to react to from there, including the future of the next CBA with Major League Baseball. We can discuss its impact on the Padres on the other side. Some fallout in an NBA story from earlier in the season as well that we'll discuss ahead here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760. I feel like there's some things I need to read, Alan.
I just took down. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like this. Like starting Monday, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks contest. Listen every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. starting Monday. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. It starts Monday at 9 a.m. I feel like Jesse had some like big picture topic. I mean, we asked him obviously about the CBA, the future of the sport, the Peter Seidler era. It's, he also made the point like nothing will happen other than rhetoric until there's a deadline. And I completely agree with that. And it could stretch into the 2027 season. And he made the point that
I think it's expected.
And I think that people would be okay with it if it solves some of baseball's fundamental problems. That's the interesting part. Like, are you okay with it? If, you're losing the battle, but are you winning the war as a Padres fan? If some of these irregularities, discrepancies are fixed moving forward, but will they be?
Okay, so here, I'm going to give him a lot of credit because I do feel like people have, especially in his position, he's covering all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot.
For him, he doesn't necessarily care about how the Padres do or how the Dodgers do. Like, it doesn't mean anything to him. He's covering the sport in general.
Yep.
Why do I feel like there's too much defense towards no, baseball is fine. Like the way you set it up for him.
Maybe it's fine.
Maybe it's fine.
Yes.
He was pretty adamant, like, just use common sense.
Sure.
No, you can't have one team doing this or a couple markets doing this. And then the rest of Major League Baseball, it's like, we just don't have the ability to do so. The San Diego Padres tried battling with the Dodgers. They tried. Well, you can't have that game plan. It's like if as much as I'd like to go toe for toe with somebody, I got to come up with a different game plan because I can't beat them at their own game. But they tried. And that's what Seidler did. And he went out and signed Xander Bogaerts and extended Machado.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter. We're signing people left and right. Clearly, that's not a sustainable game plan. He's one of the few people that I've heard just say, this is black and white. Like, there's no baseball. This is the problem with baseball. And until you get this fixed, it's going to be very difficult for every team in every market to say, I got a legitimate chance.
Here's my fear. And I think I've made it with you even in these first 3 weeks of the show. And it's not really a fear, but here's my expectation. My expectation is the people that think, and it includes Padres fans, it includes Guardians fans, and it includes other fans of teams that aren't in Boston, New York, and LA. That's not the only examples, but those 20 clubs that are like trying to punch above their weight, let's say, and it's hard to win a World Series from their position. I think a lot of people believe it's going to be fixed. There's going to be a CBA. People are putting their foot down. This is the time. It's going to be fixed. I don't think it will be.
I don't know if we know it's going to be fixed. I think of all times that this has been a conversation. See, what I think what's happened to the Dodgers in these last few years is the discrepancy is now at a level we've never seen before. And then when Shohei signed, it was like, and they're also only have to pay they're deferring to, and then people can make the argument this has happened before, but at the end of the day, people are saying it's like, but not to this level. Go look at their past couple of off seasons. I think the difference today is the Dodgers have basically said, we don't care how you feel about it. If we're allowed to do it, we're going to do it. And we have the resource to do it. And by the way, that's not, they haven't technically done something wrong, but they've brought to light, like, this system it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing it this way. Even if the Dodgers don't win every single year, if you're winning 3 out of 5 years, or if you have that higher percentage chance than other squads, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, is this really good for the competitiveness of baseball?
We're not going to solve it in 60 seconds, but we've had this conversation. I know. I don't think it's an easy fix at all. I do. Even if everyone said, let's do it. And by everyone, I don't mean everyone, but even if there was interest in doing it, how? You take the players away from the Dodgers? They exist. The mechanisms that they've used are already in place. The Padres of the last 7 years are very similar to the Padres right now. The core pieces.
But you can't. I think at the end of the day, you just got to think big picture.
Okay. Yeah,
because,
that's fair.
Because that's all that matters is big picture.
That's fair.
Let me paint a picture for you. Let's say they do change it. They have a salary cap, but they allow anybody who's on the roster to stay, grandfathered in. All right, is what it is. Nothing I could do about that. By the way, some of these players might not age well. Some of these players, like I think maybe now the development of players becomes more valuable, whatever the case is. But you can't tell me. What I don't want to hear is like, yeah, but is it going to solve all the problems tomorrow? I don't need all the problems to be solved tomorrow. If you told me that the changes they make to the CBA, the changes they make, if you tell me it doesn't truly have its best effect until 2030, sign me up for it. I'm thinking big picture. I'm not thinking over the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. But I do think the same topics will come up maybe in 27 and 28 and 29 because the CBA will be done and we'll be like, same result. Well, you'll see it in 4 years. Trust me. You know what I mean? Like the CBA will.
There's such, for me, that's not even a hesitation. I will take that risk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will take that chance.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And if we want to complain about it down the road, we can if it's not working.
Then we will. Padres played 540 tonight. We're getting you ready on the other side, plus an update to an NBA story that played out the opening night of the season in 2025, the opening night of this season. We'll have an update for you on that here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. The Padres and Mariners are getting set to finish their 3-game series tonight down at Petco Park. The Padres are going for the 3-game sweep. It's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Walker Buehler going for San Diego. First pitch is set for about 10 minutes from now at 5:40. We have our Final Four in the NBA play-in games tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It's going to be the Hornets and the Magic. And then we got Golden State at Phoenix at 7:30 for the right to be the 8th seed in each of their conferences. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change your future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Padres Mariners is tonight at 5:40, coming up in about 10 minutes. I want you to walk us through this NBA story that's playing out kind of off the court.
Yeah.
In a moment, but I do want to mention, have we even mentioned the lineup?
I don't think we did.
I don't
No,
think so.
We got Laureano leading off again.
Toddy.
I just memorized Laureano. Merrill
Okay,
third. Merrill was third
Merrill's
because he was the capture
Merrill
on
Madness.
Padres.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Machado, obviously. Bogey, Sheets at first, and Duhar's the DH.
Yep.
Campy back at catcher, even though Fermin's all right. He's on the active roster. And then
Cronenworth.
Crony
Mm-hmm.
for Walker Buehler. Can they get it to 8 straight? Tune in.
by the way, just real quick on this, on the Buehler stuff, every time he gets the ball, every time he's out there for San Diego, there is a little bit of, I don't know what I'm going to get.
Yep.
And I think in his last start, he was solid. He was phenomenal. It was by far his best outing as a Padres pitcher. And now it's like, it feels without Pivetta, every single time you have a starting pitcher. I mean, how many times did Jesse Rogers he emphasized it. He kept kind of going. And every time he said it, I was like, that one hurt. But he's right.
Yeah.
You got to have starting pitching. And for the Padres to have as good of a bullpen as they have and have Mason Miller closing and everything, all that is great. And I think we all like their everyday lineup right now. They have much more depth than they've had in the past. But the Buehler starts, the Marquez starts. Now it's like Michael King's got to win everyone. Randy Vasquez has got to be great. So Buehler tonight, let's see how he does.
Yeah, the unbiased, objective viewpoint nationally is, well, the Padres are going to run themselves into some problems, obviously, because of their lack of depth in the rotation.
Almost took it personal when he said that.
The here and now Padre fan, the way you look at it through this prism locally is like they're 12-6.
Won 7 in a row.
Live for tonight. Like we'll worry about tomorrow later. By the way, Buehler starts against Colorado, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Amazing. The other 2 starts in Boston, 2 2/3 innings, 4 runs all earned. The start against San Francisco, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs.
How many walks in those first 2 starts?
2, 3, 0. So 5 walks in 12 2/3 innings isn't crazy.
Yeah.
But 2 and 3 in his first 2 starts. Take me through. You were telling me this story earlier. I'm like, I had forgotten that a head coach of the NBA was fired earlier this year, right? Who was it? Chauncey Billups?
Chauncey Billups was, I don't even know the official terminology. I don't, because there's so much legal stuff that gets involved. So I don't know if they just terminate him or it's something that's whatever the case is. This is how this came up. There was an article today, story that came out. Former NBA player. Do you remember Damon Jones? Damon Jones was a player in the league, and there was a moment early in the NBA when that investigation comes down, and Chauncey Billups is no longer the head coach of the Blazers.
That I remember.
Terry Rozier, who was on the Miami Heat, he's now
That's right.
Terry Rozier.
Yeah,
and then the other player was Damon Jones, because in the investigation, Damon Jones was mentioned in a couple different acts. Jones had previously pleaded not guilty to indictments charging him with profiting from rigged poker games and providing sports bettors with non-public information about injuries to LeBron James and Anthony Davis while working for the Lakers.
So that's when people were betting on or against the Lakers because they knew LeBron was sitting or unavailable.
It was like a Milwaukee game or something like that.
The reason they knew is because Damon Jones provided that information.
Provided that info. Okay. So
we thought, I remember that was the biggest story ever.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I've completely forgotten about it until right now.
So this is the point that I was making. You and I were talking earlier, and the news today on Damon Jones is expected to become the first person to plead guilty to sports gambling charges that were brought by the Department of Justice last fall. They got 30 arrests. 30 people were arrested over all this.
Yeah.
You remember how big of a story it was.
Yeah, it was
and then
huge.
all of a sudden it was like, what's going on in the NBA? Here's another black guy, this, that, everything else. Until this story just came up, I'm like, you know what? I kind of forgot about all that stuff. Forgot about Rozier.
It's kind of like a blip.
The coach of the Portland Trailblazers now is Thiago Splitter. So they're in the playoffs by beating the Phoenix Suns. He jumps in as the Blazers coach because Chauncey Billups isn't there anymore. How quick did that story just swept under the rug?
Not only that, but wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong,
You're wrong.
wasn't some of the situation with Chauncey Billups where he was like, he was playing in the illegal poker games, or he had dug himself?
Yeah, I thought maybe also
Deep.
like inviting others to come play.
It was a crazy web, is my point. Wasn't it this unbelievable web?
There was some of the main families in New York, some of these like crime mafioso type of families.
Does it also?
Your family was I don't know.
No, I don't think.
I don't think they were. I don't think Schaefer was part of the investigation.
Part of the investigation. But here's what I would say: that we're in this even new world of gambling, where all the information is precious. Because 25 years ago, the information was precious, but you were betting on the game. Now you're betting on like the moment, like will LeBron James score 5.5 points in the first quarter? It's like, and where the players
bet on anything.
bet on anything, where all you have to do, and this is always the case, you get to one and you're impacting one player, and you're impacting so much. And the problem is, from a league perspective, is on one hand you're in bed with some of these partners.
Oh no, there's conflict of interest everywhere.
But on another hand, you can't take away the credibility of your league by having players tied to some of this.
It's a risky business, and they're all willing to take the risk. Okay,
for the money.
Yeah, I mean, I could go back to if you ever go back and you watch like a Chicago Bulls game in the 90s, and it's like Marlboro is the official sponsor or something like that, right? They were going to take their chances back then, and this doesn't equate. But go now and try to watch a sporting event, specifically the NBA. You can't go 5 minutes without some kind of FanDuel, Prize Picks, Underdog. It's in your freaking face. The way they probably look at it is, all right, yep, there's going to be some risk. We're going to have a couple of moments where we have to take a couple of jabs, but we're going to make so much damn money from this. It's worth the risk. And frankly, from a business perspective, very safe to say that it's been worth the risk.
Can I say this as well? To some extent localize it. In my position, for example, with San Diego State, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly. I have to be so cautious when someone asks me, a fan or on social media. You and I are aware we're in the middle of our careers. We're not kids. Like, I understand what's playing out around me. I see these cases on the periphery. I understand some of the betting storylines and scandals that have played out specifically in college athletics, because a lot of times they go to a college athlete. They don't have near the money of a professional athlete, and it even impacts professional athletes like at the NBA level. But I'm not saying that people are coming to me because they're looking for an edge in like a betting or whatever, like a fantasy angle or whatever. But I am so cautious and so aware that when someone's like, "Oh, how's Magoon doing?" I don't know. You'd have to. I never. Ever,
are you that really interested?
I'm so aware to the point where if someone would like text me or DM me, I'm so aware it could be screen captured or grabbed. I will say
nothing.
Now I'm always like respectful. I'm just like, I'm not sure. I wasn't at practice, or I don't know. I don't think Dutch has spoken on it publicly.
Damn, that sucks. That sucks. That sucks that you can't just have a regular dialogue and conversation about the sport or about the game.
Because think about it. I think that I know you, which I do, but it's like any one person can take the information I provided to them and give it to someone else. And I don't know what's happening there. And then they say, all of a sudden it's some $25,000 bet on some random prop bet because of some information that I supposedly gave to someone else. Like, that's kind of crazy.
You know, what I think about sometimes, I'm like, all right, who did they catch? They caught Chauncey.
Right.
They caught
A couple of these assistants.
couple of the assistants, Terry Rozier.
Yep.
Imagine what we don't know.
Exactly.
I'm serious. I'm being honest with you. I mean, and by the way, this betting didn't start 2 years ago.
Going on forever.
It's been going on forever. But imagine what we don't know. Because if you get another one of these, and maybe I'm wrong on this, because if I thought that investigation into the NBA and this was a black eye for them and everything else,
maybe not.
This year didn't play out to be
right.
To be that. Do you, if you at some point have this come up again and it's bigger, like can something happen to where people are now genuinely questioning the integrity of the game? That's the risk that you have.
We had a referee obviously fixing games.
Yeah.
Or
forget his name, but yeah.
Donahue?
Yeah, Mike Donahue. I think Mike.
Was it Tim?
Tim Donahue. Yeah, that's
it's
right.
Not even that. But
no, it is. It is. It was the they ended up doing the whole. He came out and did a whole.
But the point is, like,
documentary.
The brands normally survive. You know what I mean? Like, not normally. I mean, they do. These are powerful brands. They have a lot of PR behind them. They have a lot of ability. But the public narrative, specifically on the NBA, you know this belief. When the Spurs get the top pick, fixed. When the Mavericks get the top pick, fixed. When the team's not supposed to is getting the first pick, fixed. Everyone.
Do you believe in any? Do you believe in any of those?
Me? I think I'm very gullible. I don't. I'm
going to give you. I'll give you one that is tough for me to accept.
Okay.
It's tough for me to accept that one of the worst trades in NBA history had Luka going to the Lakers,
and then they get Cooper
and they
Flag.
just get Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me to say. Oh, but just things happen. Now, listen, I'm also I can't coordinate. I can't coordinate you and I getting together for a cup of coffee. How am I going to coordinate? Like, we're going to rig the NBA, but
yeah, like why?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to process for me. It's like it will go down as the worst trade in NBA history, and then they get the number one pick in the same year, a few months later.
Yeah, it was very incredible, is what I would say. Incredible, but a 2% chance means it happens 2% of the time.
The last one that was also kind of a little, I don't know how you ever felt about the Ipe and Otani thing. I'm like,
oh, don't get me started.
So this is just, that's it?
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to look.
Too bad.
It's all good. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
that thing died quick. That story died very, very quick.
So nobody else.
Because by the way, any other result to that story changes the course of the future of baseball. Is what it does.
Yeah.
All right. Updates from Petco. We'll put a bow on the show here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time here on Schaefer and Sliwa. Can I share some San Diego State men's basketball scheduling news? Nobody likes scheduling more than I do, by the way. You'll learn that.
You can. Can you just do me a favor, because you've done this now for the end of every segment? You say final time, like that's it.
I'm kind
and then
of
I've hugged you after every show, like, hey, that was amazing. That was incredible.
Do we know? There will be a time that is a final time.
Yes.
Is it more likely than not we have another show? Probably, because this is only our 13th show.
Is it 13?
It's not a good number.
It's not the best number.
It's not the best number.
They get him at first?
They did.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let me share some San Diego State scheduling news with you. And I like this a lot. San Diego State this upcoming year in the Pac-12 has many more dates to fill in the non-conference. They're going from 20 league games in the Mountain West to 16.
Okay.
There's only 8 opponents. They'll play them twice. That gives you all kinds of flexibility, like 16 non-conference games, which I love.
You might love it. Tell me the benefit for San Diego State.
So much benefit, because you can
strength the schedule gets
help your metrics. You give yourself 4, 5,
margin
6
for error.
NCAA tournament quality opponents where you beat 2, 3, 4 of them, and all of a sudden you've beaten some tournament caliber teams out of conference. John Rothstein reporting 5 minutes ago, and this is kind of what I call a neutral home game. San Diego State and BYU will play in Palm Springs as opposed to Salt Lake City, for example, where a neutral road game is playing in Salt Lake against BYU. A neutral home for me, I get it. Palm Springs isn't it's a bit of a distance, but it's in Southern California. So San Diego State and BYU, they have met a ton over the years. BYU, the belief was, has shied away from San Diego State over the last year or two because they've gone into the Big 12. They don't need the high caliber competition.
100%. Yeah.
But it appears as if they're willing to take out a neutral site game against the Aztecs. BYU and San Diego State will meet December 19th, Acrisure Arena. It's new. We touched on it. At what, 10, 12,000 seats in Palm Springs?
12,000 seats.
They have an AHL team, a minor league hockey team like the Gulls.
Yeah, 12,000 seats and a nice stadium. Honestly, perfect probably for, a college basketball game. What's Viejas seat? 12?
Just over 12.
Yeah. So that's a good size.
This will be a big crowd. BYU obviously has a large fan base. San Diego State has a large fan base. This is a great underrated
I really
basketball
like that.
Series. San Diego State and BYU. Jim or Kawhi? Need I say more than that?
I like what you said about it's going to give them some opportunities to be a little bit more strategic with their scheduling.
Yes.
Now you get 2 ways it can help you. A little more margin for error. And also, can a win now boost your RPI or whatever it is to
net?
However, they use those metrics, but that's good, and it's good to have BYU in the mix.
I mean, remember BYU last year. Now they didn't win a tournament game, but they spent reportedly, unofficially, between $5 and $8 million on potentially the number 1 pick in the draft, AJ Debonsa. Wow. I mean, so they have the money, where San Diego State is kind of the engine that can, and they're
$5 to $8 million on one player.
I mean, I don't know San Diego State's budget for the team, but they spent $5 to $8 million on a player reportedly. So it'll be interesting to see the BYU roster when these two teams meet this upcoming December in Palm Springs. You going to be there? Come on along. We'll do a broadcast. We'll get the band together.
But by the way, I would come to that game in a heartbeat. That's an easy sell. I think that's going to be a fun game. I think the environment of a neutral court, that's great.
What day of the week is that? I'm asking you days of the week. Days of the week?
What's the date again?
December 19th. It's a Saturday.
That's a Thursday.
It's a Saturday, and Christmas is on a Friday. The next Friday is Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's doable.
That's a Saturday.
Make that happen.
Padres underway. Walker Buehler, Luis Castillo. Buehler he walked the first batter, fell behind the second batter, Cal 3-0, and got out of the inning unscathed. And now the Padres are batting in the bottom of the first inning, looking for an 8th straight win tonight.
It's going to be it's a fun. By the way, I'm kind of thinking to myself here. This isn't a bad time to go to a game.
By the time start.
Yeah, by the time we get off here, do I just go kind of shoot down to Petco Park? I'm not 100% sure, but it's not bad because everybody else has already come in. You've given everybody a chance to get in there, and then you show up about maybe 3 innings in. Nothing wrong with that.
Would you consider doing that?
Yeah, I would. I've been to a game this year, so
might be a little chilly for me.
I'm very
soft.
Get a little undershirt going.
Maybe a puffer vest.
Yeah, maybe a puffer vest.
We didn't even touch on that, by the way. Brent, did you see this? There were like
was it absurd?
fights
Was it stupid?
over the puffer vest last night because of like the lines and people cutting lines and the back and I mean, we're fighting over puffer vests.
Here's what
Dodger fans now fighting over bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Here's what I don't like with some of the giveaways.
Okay.
Don't you just kind of feel like you got to just give everyone a giveaway? Do we got to do the first 40,000 or the first like?
But 40,000 is basically everyone. I mean,
But it's not. That's the problem.
I know.
You have like 5,000 people that are like, hey, I wasn't able to get here on time.
Right.
All I'm saying is I think we could avoid some fighting if we could just potentially give everyone a puffer jacket.
Can I complain about something?
Of course you can.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Mhm.
just hit a home run. Like he hits a ball
To
to
the
right
warning track.
field and it
Yeah.
goes to the warning track. When is it going to happen? I hope it's tonight so we can talk about it tomorrow.
Sammy and Fletch were joking today. They gave 5-1 odds that he hits a home run tonight. Would you take those odds? Either of you?
5-1. Well, he's 0 for 18 so far in games.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to go.
I said no as well.
I'm going to say no on that one.
But there will be a day, right?
Yeah.
Do we all agree? I mean, even if he only hits 20, that means there's going to be 20 days.
Luckily
potentially.
for him, the team is balling out.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot of other players stepping up. By the way, even Xander on that note. I mean, Xander's playing well, but you got Laureano doing his thing, Merrill doing his thing. The question is just going to be when and maybe a little bit of an if Tatis starts hitting some home runs. What does it look for the Padres and kind of what's their ceiling now?
12-6 with Machado and Tatis combining to not do a lot. I think I'll take that. I think that's a good sign that they're 12-6 with Machado and Tatis having combined to do not a lot.
We did our winning streaks. I said they're going to 8. You said they're going to 10.
10 straight wins is what I'm predicting. You said only 8?
I said 8. Yeah.
Come on. Have some faith. I think it'll be at least 7. I could see it reaching at least 7.
By the way,
again.
this is also to sweep a team. That last one's always the toughest.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Unless you win it. All right, we're doing it again tomorrow for Brent and Alan. I'm John. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. See you tomorrow.